Hello பசங்களா. A very good morning. Kalai vanakkam anevarukkum. This is your master teacher Nivetha making bio learning very simplified just for all of you guys. So can someone please confirm me if I am audible? A very good morning everyone. So na audible ah irukkan yarach confirm panna mudiyuma? Am I audible? Is the screen clear and visible? Can someone please confirm me? So how are you all pasangla? How are you? Been 2 days aachi live eduthu. So today we are going to continue with the same chapter where we got struck. Okay, I'm going to do right from the beginning, that is chemical coordination and integration. Okay, naane check pannirren if I'm audible or not. Yes, I'm audible. Okay. Yeah, so in the chapter ரொம்ப முக்கியமான chapter pasangla from your NEET exam point of view, and not just that, to know about your health, to know what is endocrine gland and what do they actually do, you guys need to watch this live till the end pasangla. We are going to complete this entire chapter today. What are endocrine glands, what are their secretion functions, and also we are going to discuss about the disorders. Okay, the most important part here is disorders of your endocrine system. Okay, so come on, let's get into the session. Yes, yeah. So first of all, I have few questions before I get into the session. What is the hormone that is involved in the metamorphosis of tadpole to frog, right? So I think all of you know that a tadpole gets metamorphized into frog, correct? So idhiliyum or hormone involved aayirukku. Enna ma'am, frog li endocrine system iruka? Irukku pasangla. Does anyone know what is the hormone that is involved in the metamorphosis of a tadpole into a frog? Okay, there is one very important hormone. That hormone is called as your thyroid hormones. Okay, so ஒரு tadpole வந்து frog ஆ மாறணும்னா அதுக்குள்ள அந்த thyroid hormone synthesize ஆகணும், and that will bring about metamorphosis. Okay, so that's very important to understand. Isn't it interesting pasangla? So இந்த tadpole க்கும் frog க்கும் சம்பந்தமே கிடையாது. Tadpole is a swimming structure, free swimming structure, whereas frog has two limbs which can help in locomotion, right? So they are two completely distinct structure, and that process is called metamorphosis, and you have thyroid hormones helping in metamorphosis pasangla. So that's very important to understand. I have another interesting question. Why are women having more mood swings than men? Mennuku mood swing irukum, womenku mood swing irukum, but yen pasangla women la vandu adhigamana mood swings irukku? You know why? Because women have a lot of fluctuations in the hormones. Okay, so their hormone levels are not always the same. They keep fluctuating, they keep increasing, they keep decreasing. ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்காது because of the menstrual cycle. Okay, so during ovulation certain hormones will be more, okay, and during the menstrual cycle the certain hormones will be more. That is why they have all this premenstrual cycle syndrome. Okay, அந்த மாதிரி PMS, அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய ஒரு mood swings இருக்கும் women க்கு when compared to that of men. Okay, so come on, let's get into today's session. We have what we are going to do. This is the agenda of the session. We are going to discuss endocrine gland, hormones produced by endocrine gland, the functions of the endocrine gland, and the disorders. Yes, a very good morning. Okay, classification of hormones, mechanism of hormone action, and we are also going to discuss all the previous year questions what they have asked from NEET exam. Kandipa romba mukkiyam pasangla. Minimum of 2 questions will be asked from this topic in your exam. So shall we get into the session? Shall we try to understand what are glands, what are endocrine gland, what are exocrine gland? We'll try to decode each and everything. We are going to do NCERT line by line. Okay, first of all, what are glands pasangla? Glands are those structures which produce certain secretions. Okay, so certain secretion, it can be hormones, it can be enzymes, it can be anything. Okay, so glands are those structure which produces secretion. Rendu vidhamana gland irukku. Can anyone watching the live tell me what are the two important types of gland? I think all of you should know this and will know it, right? So one is your exocrine gland, another one is your endocrine gland pasangla. Namma paaka poradhu endocrine gland, but we should also know what is exocrine. Okay, so what is exocrine gland? They are glands with ducts. Okay, avangalukku ducts irukkum. There will be a tube like structure that is going to let their secretions into their target organ or target cell. Okay, so example for exocrine gland, can anyone tell me any example for exocrine gland? You have your salivary gland. Okay, then you have your liver. Okay, liver has this bile duct. Then you have your gastric glands, which all are having ducts. That is what we call it as exocrine glands. Okay, so what do they usually secrete? They usually secrete enzymes pasangla. Adha rombo mukkiyamaana vishayam. Now we have endocrine gland. Endocrine gland na enna? Rombo easy. Ductless glands. They do not have ducts. Okay, enna solranga? Duct less gland. Ma'am, ductless gland na enna ma'am? Can anyone tell me what is ductless? They do not have ducts. Then how do they pass their secretion? Then how is the transport happening? Can anyone tell? If there is no duct, how is the transport happening? Who is the transporting medium pasangla? Here the transporting medium is blood. Okay, and the secretions of endocrine glands, rombo mukkiyamaana vishayam. The secretions of endocrine glands are called as hormones. Okay, so what are hormones? The secretions of endocrine glands are called as hormones pasangla. How are they transported? Via the blood. Okay, so if you understand this much, now we can go and understand what are the different kinds of endocrine glands in our body. Okay, shall we move forward pasangla? So can I get a victory sign or a thumbs up sign in the chat section so we can move forward? Yes, I have a question again here. Okay, this is also very important. Smallest and largest endocrine gland in human body. Nama human body le irukadle chinnadana gland edu, irukadle periya endocrine gland edu. Rombo chinna gland edu theriyuma pasangala? Pineal gland. So pineal gland, all these are potent NEET questions pasangla. They can definitely ask in your NEET exam. Which is the largest gland? The largest gland is your thyroid gland. Okay, so in the pineal gland enga irukku pasangla? It is present in your brain. Okay, we will discuss what is their function a little later. Thyroid gland is there where it is present on the either side of the larynx. Somewhere here it is present. Okay, now we are going to understand what are the different kinds of endocrine glands and what are their functions. Okay, yes, so idu romba mukkiyam pasangla NEET exam ku, smallest endocrine gland and largest endocrine gland. Yes, now what are endocrine glands and what are their hormones? Thirupi nama padichadhe innoru vaati NCERT line by line discuss panniralam. Endocrine gland lack ducts and hence are called ductless glands. Okay, their secretions are called hormones. Adu already na solliten. Okay, the classical definition of the hormones are chemicals produced by endocrine glands and released into the blood and transported into a distantly located target organ. So say for example your pituitary is producing growth hormone, so that growth hormone has to be transported to the regions where all growth is happening, right? So it's a long distance transport, adha solranga. And who is transporting is? It is transported via your blood pasangla. And this definition has been a PYQ. Listen to the definition very clearly. Hormones are non-nutrient. adukku vandu nutritional value kedaiyadhu. They are not going to give you any nutritive value. Okay, and they are intercellular messengers. What do you mean by intercellular messengers? Imagine this is cell A. Okay, and imagine this is cell B. Okay, this is a hormone producing endocrine cell. So this endocrine cell will produce hormone, okay, and this hormone will go and act upon a target cell, okay. So this is the releasing cell, this is the target cell. So there is a communication between two cells. Adha nama intercellular messengers nu solrom. Oru vaati NEET exam la ipdi ketirundanga. Hormone are not nutrient chemicals which act as intracellular. Intracellular endrathu thappu pasangala. Intracellular na within the same cell. No, they act as an intercellular messenger. They send signal from one cell to another cell. That is very important. And romba mukkiyam, they are produced in trace amount. Romba kammiyana quantity la dhaan produce agudhu. Ma'am, kammiyana quantity na enna ma'am? Grams ah kedaiyadhu pasangala. It is produced in picograms, very small unit. It is produced in nanograms, okay, or milligrams. This is how much small quantity they are produced in, okay. Then they are produced in milligrams. Okay, the definition romba mukkiyam. PYQ la ketirukanga. Non nutrient chemicals, which this word is so very important. Intercellular messengers, that is messengers between two important cells. Okay, ipa parunga. The new definition covers a number of new molecules in addition to the hormones secreted by the organized endocrine gland. Ma'am, in the endocrine glands invertebrates lu irukka ma'am? Irukku pasangala. There are very primitive, very simple endocrine system, okay, with very few hormones. But when it comes to vertebrates, right from your fishes till your mammals, all of us have a very well developed endocrine system, okay. So the human endocrine system is what we are going to discuss in today's session pasangala. So if this is clear, please do let me know in the chat section. Yes. Now let's talk about the human endocrine system. Naraya perku or prachana irukku pasangala. Ithana endocrine glands eppadi ma'am nabagam vechikkiradhu? I'll give you a very easy way. Modala brain, okay. So let's take brain. So brain la mottathukku 3 endocrine gland irukku pasangala. One is your hypothalamus, okay. Then you have your pituitary, and then you have your pineal gland. So all these 3 acha brain la mudinjirucha 3 nabagam vechikala, okay. Then you have in your thorax, okay. In your thorax you have again 3 important glands, okay. One is thyroid, then you have parathyroid, okay, then you have thymus. So mudinjiruchi. 6 gland nabagam vechiktachi, okay. Then you have your abdominal region. In the abdominal region you have your pancreas, adrenal gland, okay, your gonads, that is your ovaries and testis, okay. So in this way you can very hi Roslyn, hi, a very good morning. In this way you can very easily remember all the hormones. Ungalku region nabagam vechikna you can remember. So you have 6, okay, 6 plus 4, 10 important, very important endocrine glands. In the 10 endocrine gland thavara, we also have certain endocrine glands, okay, which are not so major, okay. You have your kidney. Enna ma'am, kidney is endocrine gland? Ama pasangala, we will discuss by the end of this session, okay. Then you have heart. Is heart an endocrine gland? Absolutely pasangala, it also produces certain hormones, okay. And you also have your gastrointestinal tract, we call it as GIT. All of these act as your endocrine gland. So mottathukku 13 endocrine gland irukku. Adula 10 endocrine gland romba mukkiyamaana endocrine gland. Yes. Hi Mirnal, hi. Yes. So now we shall continue with one by one. So modala nama hypothalamus paakalam, okay. First brain mudichiralam, adukaprom one by one we will talk about. Yes. So shall we start with hypothalamus pasangala? So in the hypothalamus la pasangala, where is this present? First of all, location enga? It is located in the basal part of diencephalon. It is present in your forebrain, correct? We have discussed mundanalda we did a neural control and coordination chapter. There we discussed about hypothalamus function. It is going to control your thirst, hunger, okay, body temperature, adellame control பண்றது உங்க hypothalamus தான் பசங்களா. இந்த hypothalamusல இந்த neural function தவிர you have certain cells called neurosecretory cell is the commander of the pituitary gland. Very good. Yes, so அது என்னன்னு சொல்லலாம், master of the master ன்னு சொல்லலாமா? Yes, so they have certain cells called neurosecretory cells pasangla. So in the neurosecretory cells they produce two kinds of hormones. Okay, so it is going to control my pituitary. Okay, so idu enna mari rendu actually moonu hormones. Okay, moonu set of hormone. One vandu releasing hormone, okay, இன்னொன்னு வந்து inhibiting hormone, okay, and the other one is your ADH and oxytocin. Okay, நிறைய பேருக்கு ADH and oxytocin, ma'am ADH and oxytocin pituitary தான ma'am produce பண்ணுது? கிடையாது பசங்களா. It is produced by your hypothalamus but it is released by your pituitary. Okay, ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம் நான் இப்போ பேச போறது releasing hormone, inhibiting hormone, and you also have your ADH and oxytocin. Okay, so what is this releasing hormone pasangla? Rombo easy. Imagine this is your hypothalamus, imagine this is your pituitary. Okay, so only when your hypothalamus produces this releasing hormone, your pituitary will release their respective hormones. Okay, that simple it is. Okay, what is an example for releasing hormone? Anyone, can you tell me what is the example for releasing hormone? GnRH. Ma'am, GnRH na enna ma'am? Gonadotropin releasing hormone pasangla. So this GnRH is going to activate my pituitary. Okay, என்ன பண்ணோம், இந்த GnRH என்னோட pituitary போய் activate பண்ணோம். அப்போ என்னோட pituitary வந்து gonadotropins produce பண்ணோம். ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். Okay, so what are they trying to tell? It stimulates the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotropins. So that is about releasing hormone பசங்களா. இன்னொரு ஹார்மோன் இருக்கு, inhibiting. Ma'am, what is that inhibiting ma'am? ரொம்ப easy. Okay, so one such example for inhibiting hormone is somatostatin. நான் எப்பவுமே அந்த somatostatin stomato pronounce பண்ணுவேன். So don't do like that. It is somatostatin. Okay, so what is this somatostatin going to do? Okay, பார்க்கலாம். Somatostatin. இந்த somatostatin என்ன பண்ணோம்னா பசங்களா, listen to me very carefully. It is going to inhibit, இந்த cross sign na enna, inhibit my pituitary to pituitary produces growth hormone, correct? It is going to inhibit the secretion of growth hormone from the pituitary. Okay, so inhibit secretion of growth hormone, GH ன்னு எழுதுறேன். Okay, that's very important, releasing hormone and inhibiting hormone. Is this clear pasangla? Now these hormones reach the pituitary gland through a portal circulatory system. Again, a very important question. Unga neatla kandipa keklam. How are these releasing and inhibiting hormone releasing the pituitary? Via a portal circulatory system. I will show you the picture, not to worry. Okay, now we shall discuss about this ADH and oxytocin right here. அப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கும், ஹைப்போதலாமஸ் தான் ADH and oxytocin ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுது, உங்க பிட்யூட்டரி வந்து அதை வந்து வெறும் ஸ்டோர் பண்ணி ரிலீஸ் பண்ணுதுன்னு சொல்லி. ஓகே, ஸோ நவ் லெட்ஸ் டாக் அபவுட் ADH. ஸோ கேன் எனிவன் டெல் மீ வாட் இஸ் ADH? வாட் டு யூ கைஸ் நோ அபவுட் ADH? ADHனா என்ன பசங்களா? எனிவன்? இட் இஸ் கால்ட் ஆஸ் ஆன்டி diuretic hormone. Okay, ADH oda full form anti diuretic hormone. So idu avlo mukkiyam pasangala. This we studied in regulation of kidney function, in excretory products and their elimination, and we are also studying it here. Okay, idukku innoru peru irukku. So can anyone tell me what is the other name? It is vasopressin. Okay, so vasopressin is the other name for ADH. What is this function pasangala? Idoda function enna? The function of ADH is to absorb water from the tubular parts of the nephron. So I think all of you know about nephron, right? So nephron la irukku PCT, loop of Henle, okay, then you have your DCT, then you have your collecting duct, correct? So it is going to help in reabsorption of water, okay? Function is very, very important. It is going to help in reabsorption of water from tubular parts of nephron, okay? Yes. So what will happen pasangla? இது எதுக்காக வந்து anti diuretic ன்னு சொல்றோம். What is diuresis? It is frequent urination. So நம்ம உடம்புல இருந்து நிறைய தண்ணி யூரின் மூலமா போறத தான் நம்ம diuresis ன்னு சொல்றோம். So what is this anti diuretic? So நம்ம உடம்புல எப்பலாம் dehydrate ஆகுதோ, okay, so your hypothalamus is stimulated to produce ADH, and this ADH is going to reabsorb all the water back. Okay, so that's why we call it as anti-diuretic. Okay, so diuresis na enna? All of you, please do write it in the chat section. Diuresis is called frequent urination. Okay, so I think all of you know about hyposecretion and hypersecretion. Yes. Okay, so என்ன நடக்குது பசங்களா? Hyposecretion. நிறைய பேருக்கு இது ஒரு confusion இருக்கு. Okay, hyposecretion of ADH causes one disease or disorder. Disease ன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது, disorder ன்னு சொல்லலாம். Does anyone know what is the cause for hyposecretion of ADH? Anyone? அது என்னன்னு சொல்றோம் அத? It is called as diabetic insipidus. Okay, diabetic mellitus is different. The normal sugar ன்னு சொல்றோம்ல, அது வேற, இது வேற. Diabetic insipidus, very, very important for NEET exam. Okay, hyposecretion of ADH causes diabetic insipidus. Ma'am, diabetic insipidus na enna ma'am? ரொம்ப சிம்பிளான விஷயம் பசங்களா. நம்ம உடம்புல இந்த hypoனா என்ன பசங்களா? Less. Okay, when my ADH is secreted in very, very less quantity, என்னோட ADH எப்போ வந்து ரொம்ப கம்மியா secrete ஆகுதோ, okay, at that time it results in this diabetic insipidus. That means what? ADH வந்து ரொம்ப கம்மியா இருக்கு. So அப்ப என்ன நடக்கும்? There will be no proper reabsorption of water, right? So the patient will have diuresis as a symptom. Frequent urination நடக்கும். Frequent urination நடந்தா என்ன நடக்கும்? The body becomes dehydrated. Okay, they will feel very thirsty. எப்பவுமே அவங்களுக்கு தண்ணி தாகம் எடுத்துட்டே இருக்கும். That is another symptom. Okay, they will get dehydrated, and all these are the symptoms of diabetic insipidus. People tend to confuse diabetic insipidus and diabetic mellitus pasangla. I will discuss about diabetic mellitus. Give me some time. In the insipidus matro purinjukonga. Clear? Can we continue? Diabetic insipidus, is it clear pasangla? So this is about ADH. Okay, so who is producing ADH? It is produced by hypothalamus. Okay, but it is released by your pituitary. Adha matrum marandiradinga. Okay, yes. Now we shall continue. Now let's talk about oxytocin. Okay, oxytocin rendu pera solranga pasangla. One, it is called as birth hormone. Okay, another one, it is also called as love hormone or happy hormone. Okay, love hormone nu solrom, happy hormone nu solrom. Nama eppala happy ah irukomo pasangla, then our oxytocin levels will be very, very high. Okay, yes. What is given in your syllabus is oxytocin as a birth hormone pasangla. Why is oxytocin called as a birth hormone? So during parturition, எப்பல்லாம் ஒரு குழந்தை வந்து ரெடியா இருக்கோ, after 10 months of development or after 9 months of development, the child is ready to come out to the world, then your oxytocin will be produced by your hypothalamus, stored and released by your pituitary, and it is going to stimulate, ரொம்ப முக்கியம், it is going to stimulate the smooth muscles of your uterus. Okay, smooth muscles of uterus, and that is going to help in childbirth. Okay, or kolanda perakkanona, the smooth muscles need to contract, right? So that is what is done by your oxytocin. Adanala da na oxytocin birth hormone nu solren pasangala. Okay, adha thavara oxytocin is also involved in milk ejection. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். ஒரு குழந்தை பிறந்தோடனே தாய்ப்பால் வந்து வரணும்னா you need to have this oxytocin in our blood levels. Okay, and other than all this, okay, it's very very important to note that oxytocin is also called as the happy hormone or love hormone. Okay, sila perukku sila pregnant mothers ku pain e varadu pasangala. At that time you would have heard induce pannanga, injection potanga. What is that injection they are going to give? They are going to give oxytocin injection pasangala. So pain e varala, labor pain e varala na they give picotin injections. Okay, so this picotin is nothing but oxytocin injection which is going to induce the labor pain artificially. Okay, so by this we complete hypothalamus. Okay, so oxytocin yaar produce pandra? Hypothalamus. Yaar release pandra? Pituitary. Yes ma'am, appo yes, appo oxytocin is milk ejection. Prolactin and oxytocin both are important for milk ejection. Is it clear, Roslyn? Okay, இப்போ நம்ம the most important gland பார்க்க போறோம், that is pituitary gland. ஒரு P இருக்குலப்பா, அந்த சைஸ் தான் இருக்கும் உங்களோட pituitary gland. அதை தான் நம்ம master gland ன்னு சொல்றோம். Okay, what is pituitary gland called as pasangla? Master gland. It is, why is it called as master gland pasangla? Because it is going to regulate all the functions of your other endocrine glands. Okay, so this is directly under the control of your hypothalamus. So I have a picture. Okay, so here you can see this is your hypothalamus, you have your pituitary. Okay, then you have your hypothalamus and pituitary attached via a stalk like structure, or kuchi marina structure la rendume interact பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கு. So na hypothalamus, can I call it as master of the master? See, pituitary is master, correct? And the master e control pandra or master irupangala, that is called as your hypothalamus. So that is called as your hypothalamus pasangla. Ipo in the pituitary gland romba romba mukkiyamaana gland pasangla. It is divided into two important regions. Does anyone know? Does anyone know what are the two important parts of your pituitary gland? Adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Okay, hypophysis na enna pasangla? Hypophysis na pituitary. The other name for pituitary is hypophysis. Okay, so how are they classified? They are classified into adenohypophysis. Okay, and then you have your neurohypophysis. Okay, and this adenohypophysis is further divided. In the adenohypophysis la romba idu nariya per confuse agum, eppadi ma'am in the pituitary divide aayirukku engalukku puriyave maatikide. Listen to me very very carefully. Okay, now the adenohypophysis is further divided into two regions. One is pars distalis, other one is pars intermedia. Okay, in the rendu classification romba romba clear ah purinjukonga. Pars distalis. Okay, then you have pars intermedia. புரிஞ்சதா பசங்களா? Did everyone understand this? In the pars distalis ஓட இன்னொரு பேர் என்ன தெரியுமா? Anterior pituitary. Okay, so pars distalis is also called as what? I will use this color. It is also called as anterior pituitary pasangla. Okay, now this pars distalis produces different kind of hormones. Okay, what are their hormones? Adu romba romba mukkiyam. Growth hormone, okay, prolactin, that is going to help in lactation, milk ejection, okay, or milk secretion in vachikla. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, and it is going to produce your gonadotropin, that is your FSH and LH. Yes, posterior for adenohypophysis, anterior for neuro. அப்படி கிடையாது. ஓகே, ஸோ adenohypophysis ரெண்டு ரீஜன் இருக்கு. இந்த pars neurohypophysis நம்ம வந்து pars nervosa கூட சொல்றோம். ஓகே, yes, so you have this anterior pituitary. What are the secretion? Growth hormone, prolactin, TSH, ACTH, FSH and LH. We will discuss what is the function a little later. Now, what is this pars intermedia producing? Pars intermedia la ஒரே ஒரு ஹார்மோன் தான் ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆயிருக்கு பசங்களா. அந்த ஹார்மோன் பேரு MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Functions கொஞ்சம் லேட்டரா பார்க்கலாம். முதல்ல என்னென்ன ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகுதுன்னு கிளியரா பார்த்துக்கோங்க. ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட். However, in humans, the pars intermedia is merged with pars distalis. In the pars intermedia and pars distalis to merged இருக்குன்னு சொல்றாங்க நம்ம human beings-ல. Okay, now pars nervosa, okay, so neurohypophysis, it is also known as pars nervosa. என்னன்னு சொல்றோம் இத? Pars nervosa ன்னு சொல்றோம். Okay, we also call it as posterior pituitary. Confuse ஆகாதீங்க. Everything is clearly written in the board. If you still didn't understand, please do let me know. It's okay, no problem, no problem. Posterior pituitary. Okay, so இதுல வந்து இந்த pars nervosa ல எந்த ஹார்மோனும் ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகாது பசங்களா. It is going to store, ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம், it is going to store my oxytocin and vasopressin. It is not going to produce any hormone. சொல்லிருக்காங்க பாருங்க. So என்ன எழுதலாம் இங்க? It is going to store the hypothalamic hormone. Store hypothalamic hormone. புரிஞ்சதா பசங்களா? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat section if you guys have understood this much? We will proceed further. Now we will try to understand இதோட function. ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷனும் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Can we continue? I'll just show you this if this is clear. Yes. Okay, இப்போ நம்ம பார்க்க போறது இதுதான் பசங்களா. You can see how is the hypothalamus. இது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Listen to me very very carefully. Okay, the hypothalamus is connected to the anterior pituitary via portal circulation. Okay, உங்க anterior pituitaryயும் உங்க hypothalamusம் எப்படி கனெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கு? portal circulation மூலமா கனெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கு. அதே என்னோட posterior pituitaryயும் என்னோட hypothalamusம் எப்படி கனெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கு? It is connected via neurons. Hi Janice, hi. Okay, it is connected via neurons. This could be an important NEET question. Okay, என்ன question கேட்கலாம்? How is the anterior pituitary and hypothalamus connected? It is connected via portal circulation. And how is your posterior pituitary and hypothalamus connected? It is connected via neurons. Okay, without any further delay, let's get into the hormones. Okay, the first hormone, ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியமான hormone, growth hormone. Okay, so what is growth hormone going to do pasangla? Obviously it is going to help in growth. Yes or no? So growth hormone la there are two kinds of things which can happen. One is hyposecretion, another one is hypersecretion. Hypo na enna pasangla? Less. எப்போ என்னோட growth hormone கம்மியா synthesize பண்ணப்படுதோ அது வந்து hyposecretion ன்னு சொல்றோம். அதே growth hormone எப்போ வந்து அதிகமா அளவுக்கு மீறின synthesis நடக்குதோ அத வந்து நான் hypersecretion ன்னு சொல்றேன். இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம் பசங்களா. They have asked question. We are going to discuss PYQs. You will see how easy it is. Okay, இப்போ hyposecretion, yes, absolutely it is for growth. Hyposecretion results in a condition called dwarfism pasangla. Okay, adhe hypersecretion results in a condition called gigantism. Okay, they are all hormonal disorders. இப்போ நிறைய பேர் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க ரொம்ப குள்ளமா இருப்பாங்க. ஏன் அப்படி இருப்பாங்க? Because one of the reason I'm telling you, one of the reason is where there will have hyposecretion of growth hormone. Growth hormone வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கம்மியா இருக்கும். அதை தான் நம்ம hyposecretion ன்னு சொல்றோம். அதே சில பேர் more than 6.8 feet tall இருப்பாங்க. Okay, பார்க்கவே ரொம்ப gigantic இருப்பாங்க. That is what we call it as gigantism. Okay, so this must be clearly understood. The next hormone, okay, so what is the next hormone pasangla? You have prolactin. Okay, so prolactin oda function enna? Romba romba easy. It helps in lactin layer. Lactin na something related to milk. Okay, it is going to stimulate the milk mammary gland for the production of milk. Okay, so it helps in lactation. Abdi eldikalama? Can I write it? Okay, prolactin helps in lactation. The next hormone is TSH. TSH na enna pasangla? Thyroid stimulating hormone. So எத்தனை பேர் thyroid test எடுத்திருக்கீங்க? இப்பலாம் ரொம்ப காமன் ஆயிடுச்சு கரெக்ட்டா? So இந்த thyroid test எடுக்கும்போது they just don't check for your thyroid level, they also check for your TSH levels. Okay, so only when my thyroid stimulating hormone, இது என்ன பண்ணோம் பசங்களா? These thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the synthesis and secretion of your thyroid hormones. Okay, so stimulate, so simple ஆ எழுதிரலாம், stimulates thyroid gland. அப்படி எழுதலாமா? Yes or no பசங்களா? Okay, the next hormone of your pituitary is ACTH. I will use a bright color, konjam light ah theriyudhu. Okay, the next one is ACTH. Okay, so what is this ACTH? Adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, so what is this ACTH going to do? It is going to stimulate this adrenal glands. In the adrenal glands enga irukku pasangala? It is located above my kidney, correct? So inga irundhu enoda pituitary la irundhu and ACTH kidney varaikum poi adrenal glands oda cortex vandu stimulate panno. It is going to stimulate the synthesis of glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. This can be asked as a question, so please do stay aware of all this. Okay, so ACTH enna panno? It stimulates your adrenal cortex to produce what pasangla? To produce your glucocorticoids. I will talk about what glucocorticoids are little later. Okay, and the last set of hormones here is your gonadotropins. So can anyone watching the live tell me what are gonadotropin? Gonadotropin na enna pasangla? What do you understand by gonadotropin? Yes, there are two kinds of gonadotropin. One is your FSH, another one is your LH. Okay, இது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். இது வந்து மூணு இடத்துல படிக்கிறீங்க பசங்களா. ஒன்னு ஹியூமன் ரீப்ரொடக்ஷன்ல படிக்கிறீங்க, ஓகே, அப்புறம் ஊஜெனசிஸ்ல படிக்கிறீங்க, ஸ்பெர்மாட்டோஜெனசிஸ்ல படிக்கிறீங்க, மென்ஸ்ட்ரல் சைக்கிள்ல படிக்கிறீங்க. இந்த gonadotropins பேஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு क्वेश्चन உங்க நீட் எக்ஸாம்ல கன்ஃபார்மா கேட்கலாம் பசங்களா. எஸ், yes, they are gonadal hormone, LH and FSH. Hi crazy dude, hi. Yes, correct. இப்போ இந்த gonadotropins பத்தி in detail நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி பார்த்துட்டோம், ஹியூமன் ரீப்ரொடக்ஷன்லயும் படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. இன்னும் கிளியரா நம்ம படிக்கலாம். Okay, so there are two kinds of gonadotropin, FSH and LH. FSH oda full form enna? Follicle stimulating hormone. LH oda full form enna? Luteinizing hormone. We call it as gonadal. These hormones have a direct connection to your gonads. Which are your gonads? Testes and ovaries. Okay, so modala let's talk about males. Okay, so in males and in females, so rendume tani taniya neenga ellarume purinjikano, because this has come many a times in your exam. நிறைய வாட்டி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. So முதல்ல மேல்ஸ்ல LH என்ன பண்ணும் பசங்களா? What does this LH do? It is going to act on your Leydig cell, correcta? Leydig cell, and this Leydig cell produces androgen. So ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். Okay, in FSH, what does this FSH do? This FSH is going to stimulate spermatogenesis. What is spermatogenesis? It's a process of formation of sperm. Rombo easy. Okay, so that's in your male. Female, listen to me very carefully. LH induces the ovulation of mature follicle. எப்போ நம்மளுக்கு ovulation நடக்குதோ அந்த 14வது நாள் of my menstrual cycle, there will be an LH surge. The LH levels will be very high. Yes, correct. Spelling தப்பா எழுதிருக்கேனா? I'm sorry for the mistake. எழுதும்போது நினைச்சேன். Okay, fine. So females, you have this LH. LH is going to help in ovulation. Okay, ரொம்ப முக்கியம். What is ovulation? It is a release of the ovum from the matured follicle or Graafian follicle. Yes, sure, no problem. Okay, and you also maintains the corpus luteum. இந்த FH என்ன பண்ணும்? Maintains corpus luteum pasangla. What is this corpus luteum? Can anyone tell me? Corpus luteum na enna? It is a empty Graafian follicle. Okay, the Graafian follicle after the release of ovum is called corpus luteum, and the corpus luteum Okay, corpus luteum it maintain பண்றதுக்காக you have your LH. Okay, so next we have your FSH. What is this FSH going to do? FSH is going to stimulate the growth and development of ovarian follicle. FSH எப்பவுமே it is going to help in follicular development. Okay, try to understand this. This is very, very important. Okay, now let's move on to the melanocyte stimulating hormone, that is your MSH. Okay, what are these? What are melanocytes? Anybody? Anybody watching the live? What are melanocytes? Okay, melanocytes are nothing but pasangla pigment producing cells which are present in your skin. Okay, so they what kind of pigment they produce? They produce melanin. Okay, so greater the melanin content, darker is the pigmentation, lesser the melanin content, lighter is the pigmentation. Okay, ரொம்ப ஃபேரா இருக்கவங்களுக்கு melanin வந்து ரொம்ப கம்மியா இருக்கும், ரொம்ப டார்க்கா இருக்கவங்களுக்கு melanin content வந்து அதிகமா இருக்கும். That is what we are trying to understand here. Okay, yes. Now, let's move on to oxytocin. We already discussed oxytocin acts as a smooth muscle, okay, and you also have your vasopressin. It mainly acts on the kidney and help in reabsorption of water and minerals. Okay, so this is entirely about your pituitary gland pasangla. Is it clear? Can we continue? The next one, the last gland in your brain is your pineal gland. So in the pineal gland enga locate aayirukna, it is located on the dorsal side of the forebrain. It is the smallest known gland. Okay, இது வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப சின்ன gland. Okay, it produces only one single hormone. We call it as melatonin. நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த MSH க்கு melatonin க்கு confuse ஆகும். அது வந்து melanocyte stimulating hormone. இது வந்து melatonin. Okay, ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஹார்மோன் பசங்களா. Every word here is a potential question that has been asked in your previous year question. So what is the function? It plays a very important role in the regulation of a 24-hour diurnal rhythm of our body. What is this diurnal? What do you mean by diurnal pasangla? Anyone? What do you mean by diurnal? Any answers? Diurnal na enna? They are organisms which are active during day are called as diurnal. Yes or no? So human beings, we are all generally active during day and we go to sleep at night, right? That is what we call it as a circadian rhythm. We call it as a sleep-wake cycle. Okay, so whenever the sun sets, we all go to sleep. Whenever the sun rises, we all wake up. And who is controlling it? Melatonin pasangla. So night aga unga body la vandu nariya melatonin produce agum. Okay, when there is darkness, and that melatonin is the one which is going to induce sleep. Okay, so நிறைய பேர் இப்ப நைட் ஷிஃப்ட் பார்க்கறாங்க, இல்ல தூங்க மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க, ரொம்ப ஸ்கிரீனுக்கு அடிக்ட் ஆயிருக்காங்கன்னா அவங்க மெலட்டோனின் லெவல் வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப மோசமா இருக்கும். பல மாசங்க தூங்கி இருக்க மாட்டாங்க. மேபி பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் எக்ஸாம் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ், ஒர்க் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ், ஆர் சும்மாவே அவங்களுக்கு தூக்கம் வரல, டிப்ரெஷன், எவ்ரிதிங் will have a direct effect on your health பசங்களா. நீங்க பாருங்க, நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பீங்க ரைட், ஒரு மாசம் 2 மாசம் சரியா தூங்காம இருக்கவங்களுக்கு பிக்மெண்டேஷன் வரும், சரியா சாப்பிட மாட்டாங்க, ஒன்னு ரொம்ப ஒல்லியா இருப்பாங்க இல்ல ரொம்ப ஒபேஸா இருப்பாங்க. ஓகே, so for all that the key hormone is melatonin பசங்களா. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். It is going to control your sleep wake cycle, body temperature. In addition, melatonin also influences the metabolism, pigmentation, okay, the menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. Yes, active during morning time. That is what is the right answer. Okay, ரொம்ப முக்கியம். ஒரு வேர்டும் பாருங்க, தூங்காம சில பேர் இருப்பீங்க, படிச்சுட்டே இல்ல ஆல்ரெடி சொன்ன மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயத்துக்காக தூக்கமின்மை இருக்கும், ரைட்? So how is it going to affect? It is going to affect my metabolism. பிக்மெண்டேஷன் வரும், மென்ஸ்ட்ரல் சைக்கிள் அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணும், மொத்தத்துக்கு உங்க டிஃபென்ஸ் கேப்பபிலிட்டியே ஃபுல்லா ஹேவ் ஓவர் ஆயிரும் whenever there is this issue. Okay, so minimum of 6 to 8 hours of undisturbed sleep நடுவுல இல்லாம மொத்தமா ஒருத்தவங்க வந்து 6 ல இருந்து 8 மணி நேரம் கண்டிப்பா தூங்கணும் பசங்களா. சின்ன குழந்தைங்க இன்னும் நிறைய ஹவர் தூங்கணும். Okay, an adult above the age of 17-18 they have to sleep for around 6 to 8 hours a day. That is going to help in the melatonin levels maintenance. இன்னொரு விஷயம், தூங்குறதுக்கு முன்னாடி மொபைல் பார்த்துட்டே தூங்கினா அப்புறம் நைட் எல்லாம் தூக்கமே வராது. even I have also faced it. I am not a person who is not addicted to screen. Each of us are addicted to screen these days, right? You better tips for sleep, right? Avoid screen time. Drink a glass of warm milk, okay, before sleep. So why there is a scientific evidence pasangla that warm milk induces the secretion of melatonin, and that is going to help in you sleeping faster. Yes, cockroaches nocturnal, absolutely. ஓகே, புரிஞ்சுதா பசங்களா? ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான விஷயம் இந்த பீனியல் கிளாண்ட் பற்றின விஷயம். இப்போ நம்ம 3 கிளாண்ட்ஸ் முடிச்சிருக்கோம். 4வது கிளாண்டாக நம்ம பார்க்க போகிறது தைராய்டு கிளாண்ட். ஷால் வி கண்டினியூ பசங்களா? ஷால் வி கண்டினியூ? எஸ். ஸோ தைராய்டு கிளாண்ட் என்ன பசங்களா, இவ்வளோ டெக்ஸ்ட் இருக்கேன்னு பயப்படாதீங்க, ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக சொல்லி கொடுத்துட்றேன். தைராய்டு கிளாண்ட் இஸ் த லார்ஜஸ்ட் கிளாண்ட். அதை முதல்ல எல்லாருமே கிளியராக புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. ஓகே, ரொம்ப முக்கியம். உங்கள் என்டையர் இந்த 10 கிளாண்ட்ஸில் ரொம்ப முக்கியமான கிளாண்ட் வேர் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஆர் கம்மிங் ஆர் ஃப்ரம் யோர் தைராய்டு கிளாண்ட் பசங்களா. ஓகே, வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். வேர் ஆர் தே லொக்கேட்டட்? தே ஆர் லொக்கேட்டட் ஆன் ஈதர் சைட் ஆஃப் யோர் ட்ரேக்கியா. திஸ் இஸ் அ ரியல் இமேஜ் ஆஃப் யோர் தைராய்டு கிளாண்ட் பசங்களா. உங்கள் ட்ரேக்கியா இருக்குன்னா, உங்க vocal cord இருக்குனா, on either side of the trachea you have your thyroid gland present. It is present in 2 lobes. Okay, butterfly மாதிரி இல்ல பாக்க, doesn't it look like a butterfly? It has 2 lobes which are interconnected to each other. Okay, and இந்த thyroid gland குள்ள இன்னொரு gland இருக்கு. அந்த gland பேரு parathyroid gland. Okay, so this is your ventral view and this is your dorsal view பசங்களா. So இது வந்து ventral and this is your dorsal. Okay, so parathyroid gland நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம்னா a gland within a gland. Okay, they can ask you which is a gland within a gland. That is parathyroid. Okay, இப்போ நம்ம முக்கியமா பார்க்க போறது thyroid gland ஓட ஹார்மோன்ஸ் என்ன, அதோட ஃபங்க்ஷன்ஸ் என்ன. So can anyone watching this live tell me what are the hormones of thyroid gland? என்னப்பா ஹார்மோன்ஸ் இருக்கு உங்க தைராய்டு கிளாண்ட்ல பசங்களா? this thyroid gland is composed of 2 kinds of cells. One is your follicle and stromal cells. Okay, so ரெண்டு விதமான cells இருக்கு thyroid glandல. One is your follicular cells, another one is your stromal tissue ன்னு சொல்றோம். Okay, these follicular cells, okay, they are basically follicles ல என்ன இருக்கு, they are made up of follicular cells. Okay, enclosing a cavity. These follicular cells secrete 2 important hormone. Okay, what are the name of the hormone pasangla? T3 and T4. Okay, T3 and T4. Yes, very good. What is T3 pasangla? Triiodothyronine. These names are very important to remember. And what is T4? Tetraiodothyronine. In the T4 oda innor per da thyroxine. Okay, the other name of this is thyroxine. Okay, from which amino acid is this derived? Can anyone tell me from which amino acid are your T3 and T4 derived? எங்க இருந்து synthesize பண்ணப்படுது? எந்த amino acid ல இருந்து synthesize பண்ணப்படுது? You have a very important amino acid called tyrosine. So all your thyroid hormones are basically produced by your tyrosine பசங்களா. Okay, and ரொம்ப முக்கியம் இதுக்கு வந்து iodine ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Iodine is present in your salt. Okay, it's present in coastal regions, right? So iodine is very important for the normal rate of hormone synthesis in the thyroid glands. Am I clear? Still here? Now, deficiency of iodine in our diet results in hypothyroidism and enlargement of the thyroid gland called goiter. So what is goiter pasangla? Anybody? Goiter. So goiter is caused because of the hyposecretion, okay, of thyroid hormones. My thyroid hormones are not secreted in enough amount, okay, and as a result what happens, there will be swelling of my thyroid gland. ஓகே, நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பீங்க enlargement of thyroid gland. மேம் இதை சரி பண்ண முடியுமா? கண்டிப்பா சரி பண்ண முடியும் பசங்களா, when we supplement iodine in their diet. ஓகே, so iodine supplementation, அதுக்கு தான் இப்போ நிறைய salt வருது, iodized salt ன்னு சொல்லி advertise பண்றாங்க. correct, Tata salt, Ashirwad salt, what are they? They are all iodized salt. So this iodine is very very important பசங்களா. ஓகே, புரிஞ்சதா? goiter புரிஞ்சதா? இப்போ நம்ம நெக்ஸ்டா பார்க்க போறது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம், cretinism. Okay, listen to me very very carefully. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy causes defective development and maturation of the growing baby, leading to stunted growth called cretinism. இப்போ ஒரு அம்மா வந்து பிரெக்னெண்டா இருக்காங்கன்னா அவங்க ஹார்மோன்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்காது பசங்களா. ரிமெம்பர் இட் வெரி வெரி கேர்ஃபுல்லி. ஆல் த ஹார்மோன்ஸ் வில் பி அப்நார்மல். ஒரு ஹார்மோன் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கும், ஒரு ஹார்மோன் கம்மியா இருக்கும். அப்படி பிரெக்னெண்டா இருக்கும் போது அம்மாக்கு வந்து ஹைப்போதைராய்டிசம் இருந்தா, if the pregnant mother is having hypothyroidism, then the child who is developing inside suffers from a syndrome called cretinism. It's absolutely ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான ஒரு விஷயம். ஓகே, so அம்மாக்கு தைராய்டு இருக்கு, அதை கண்டுபிடிக்காம விட்டுட்டாங்க. ஓகே, so the child is suffering, right? It's very bad, right? So what is the symptoms? Very very important. Stunted growth. What is stunted growth? அந்த பேபி வந்து ஒழுங்கா வளர்ந்திருக்காது. so இந்த வாரத்துக்கு இந்த டெவலப்மெண்ட் இருக்கணும்னு இருக்கும், right? so all the development wouldn't have been crossed by the baby. okay, mental retardation, அந்த ஒருவேளை அந்த குழந்தை வளர்ந்தாலும் the child will have mental retardation, low intelligent quotient, low IQ, okay, abnormal skin, deaf and mutism. what is deaf and mutism? காது கேட்காது, வாய் பேச முடியாது, right? so this is very very important. so cretinism occurs due to hypothyroidism in pregnant women. so அதனால தான் பசங்களா எப்ப நீங்க கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க, pregnant womenக்கு கம்பல்சரியா by 12 weeks, by the 3rd month they take thyroid test. okay, so thyroid test எடுத்து hypothyroidism இருந்தா உடனே they start this thyroid tablets. if they start taking tablets, there is no effect or defect of the baby. ஓகே, டேப்லெட்ஸ் எடுக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்கன்னா எந்த ஒரு பிரச்சனையும் இருக்காது. டேப்லெட்ஸ் எப்போ எடுக்கலையோ அப்பதான் பசங்களா பிரச்சனை எல்லாமே நடக்கும். ஓகே, ஸோ போத் தீஸ் ஆர் ஹைப்போசெக்ரீஷன் ஆர் ஹைப்போதைராய்டிசம் கூட சொல்லலாம். goiter and cretinism. am I clear? goiter and cretinism are what? hypothyroidism. now we have hyperthyroidism. okay, next என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? in adult women. ஓகே, மொத்தமா நிறைய விமென்ல இப்போதைக்கு இருக்க மேஜர் ப்ராப்ளம் இன் விமென் இஸ் திஸ் தைராய்டிசம், ரைட்? ஹைப்போதைராய்டிசம், ஹைப்பர்தைராய்டிசம், அதெல்லாம் நிறைய பிரச்சனை கொண்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. okay, so in adult women hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular due to cancer of the in women. hypothyroidism results in irregular periods. இப்போ ஒரு 10 women எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா 10 சின்ன young girls எடுத்துக்கோங்க. ஓகே, அதுல 4ல இருந்து 5 பேருக்கு கண்டிப்பா irregular periods இருக்கும். அதுக்கு முக்கியமான காரணம் என்னன்னா hypothyroidism. that is what they are trying to tell. okay, and sometimes பசங்களா இந்த டிஷ்யூ இருக்குல்ல, I showed you this tissue, right? This tissue can undergo abnormal growth. okay, we call it as cancer of the thyroid gland. so if there is a cancer of the thyroid gland, என்ன நடக்கும் பசங்களா? obviously there will be hyperthyroidism. okay, அது என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம்? does anyone know what is the name? what is the name of that? ஒரு கண்டிஷன் இருக்கு, அந்த கண்டிஷனுக்கு என்ன பேருன்னு யாருக்காவது தெரியுமா? let me know. okay, due to cancer of the thyroid gland or due to development of the nodules of the thyroid gland, the rate of the synthesis and secretion of the thyroid hormone is increased and it results in high level of thyroid hormones. okay, that is what we call it as hyperthyroidism. அதுக்கு ஒரு பேர் இருக்கு. does anyone know what is that name? anyone? okay, please do tell me. யோசிச்சு சொல்லுங்க, will wait. okay, so this is what is happening பசங்களா. இது ஒரு ரெண்டு ஹார்மோன். இதை தவிர there is one more hormone that is your thyroid gland producing. so ஒன்னு வந்து T3, okay, இன்னொன்னு வந்து T4. there is one more hormone. can anyone tell me what is the third hormone that is produced by your thyroid gland? it has one more important hormone called thyrocalcitonin. ரொம்ப முக்கியம். So உங்க thyroid glandsல 3 ஹார்மோன் இருக்கு. Okay, T3, T4, TCT. எல்லாமே T ல இருந்து தான் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது. So you can very easily remember. What does this thyrocalcitonin do? It is going to regulate my calcium levels in my blood. Okay, this is quite important. They have asked in PYQ function of thyroid gland. Okay, it helps in regulation of basal metabolic rate, BMR. Okay, unga BMR control pandra moda hormone enna, it is your thyroid hormones. Okay, then these hormones also support the process of RBC formation. Can anyone tell me and the RBC formation ku or per irukku? Can anyone tell me what is the name? It is called erythropoiesis pasangla. Okay, so this hormone is going to control your erythropoiesis. Okay, and it is also involved in the metabolism of carbohydrate, protein and fat. என்னோட carbohydrate, protein and fat ஒழுங்கா digest ஆகணும்னா I need thyroid hormones in a quite a good amount. Okay, then maintenance of water and electrolyte balance. இந்த ஒரு line potential option in your NEET exam. Okay, thyroid gland also secretes a protein hormone called thyrocalcitonin, which is going to regulate my calcium level. அதை எப்படி regulate பண்ணுதுன்னு பார்ப்போம். Okay, so can you tell me the hormone which is involved in erythropoiesis? Thyroid hormone. The hormone which is involved in maintaining your BMR? Thyroid hormone. So every line here is a potential question. Can we continue pasangla? Any doubts here? Okay, இது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான PYQ. You can mark it in your NCERT. Definitely they can ask. Yes. இப்போ நம்ம parathyroid குள்ள போலாம். Okay, so parathyroid நான் already சொன்ன மாதிரி there are 4 parathyroid glands on the back side, that is on the dorsal side. இங்க தெரியுதா இந்த 4 இருக்கு. உங்க thyroid gland 2 lobes இருக்கு. Okay, and your parathyroid are present as 4 important structures that are present on the dorsal side of your thyroid glands. Okay, so அதுதான் நம்ம gland within a gland ன்னு சொல்றோம். One pair each in 2 lobes of the thyroid gland. They produce only one single hormone, that is PTH, parathyroid. Okay, இப்போ இந்த parathyroid என்ன மேம் பண்ணோம்? Parathyroid is also involved in calcium regulation levels. It regulates the calcium levels in the body. Okay, so parathyroid increases the calcium levels in the body. Okay, so அதனால நம்ம அதை என்ன சொல்றோம்னா we call it as hypercalcemic hormone. ரொம்ப முக்கியம். All of you put it in the chat section. PTH is an hypercalcemic hormone. எப்பலாம் என் உடம்புல என்னோட bloodல calcium levels ரொம்ப குறையா இருக்கோ கம்மியா இருக்கோ at that time this parathyroid is going to increase the calcium level. Ma'am, எப்படி ma'am அது calcium level increase பண்ணும்? The answer is here. It stimulates the process of bone resorption or demineralization. So என்ன நடக்கும்? என்னோட போன்ல இருக்கல calcium, that calcium will undergo, like they will enter your blood. That is what we call it as resorption or demineralization. ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Okay, PTH also stimulates the reabsorption of calcium from the renal tubule. என்னோட nephronல இருந்து calcium reabsorb பண்ண help பண்ணும். Okay, and increases calcium reabsorption from the digested food. என்னோட foodல இருந்து 3 விஷயம். One from bone, okay, second from renal tubule, and third is from the digested food. It helps in reabsorbing. So one எதுல இருந்து பசங்களா? Bone. இன்னொன்னு எது பசங்களா? Food. Okay, இன்னொன்னு எது பசங்களா? From your nephron. Okay, from all these calcium is reabsorbed. Okay, this is a very important line. ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Yes, it is thus an hypercalcemic hormone. Hyper na enna? It is going to increase my calcium level. நிறைய பேருக்கு இது confuse ஆகுது பசங்களா. So please do pay attention. Okay, now what is this TCT do? இப்பதான் நாம படிச்சோம். Thyrocalcitonin. Who is producing this? Your thyroid gland. This is a hypocalcemic hormone. Hypocalcemic calcemic hormone. அப்படினா என்ன பசங்களா? What do you mean by hypocalcemic? It is going to lower my calcium levels. எப்பலாம் என்னோட bloodல calcium level வந்து அதிகமா இருக்கோ அப்ப இந்த TCT வந்து it will lower your calcium level. So this TCT and PTH act is an antagonistic way. Antagonistic. Can anyone tell me what is antagonistic? Anyone watching the live? Antagonistic na enna? Oru hero, oru villain. Okay, இப்போ PTH வந்து என்னோட calcium level அதிகமாக்குது. Okay, என்னோட calcium level அதிகமாவே இருந்துற முடியாது bloodல. So who is bringing back it to normal? It is your TCT. Yes, contrasting hero and villain அப்படி ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கலாம். Okay, so they can ask you which are the hormones that are involved in calcium metabolism? PTH and TCT. Which is an hypercalcemic hormone? PTH. Okay, which is an hypocalcemic hormone? TCT. Is it clear pasangla? Am I clear? This is very important. இது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். நிறைய வாட்டி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. If it is clear, can I get a victory sign in the chat section? So we can continue. So இப்போ என்னென்ன முடிச்சிருக்கோம்? Hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid. We are halfway through. We still have 5 more glands. Okay, yes. Now thymus. What is this thymus pasangla? In the thymus lande inga da irukku unga chest la, in between your heart. Okay, so where is it located? In the location romba mukkiyam. Unga NEET exam la kandipa kekkalam. It is located between the lungs, behind the sternum, on the ventral side of aorta. What is the sternum? It's a bone, chest bone. Okay, behind the sternum, on the ventral side of your aorta. So aorta is the largest blood vessel, all of you know. Okay, what is the function of this thymus? So in the thymus endrathu oru lymphoid organ pasangla. Okay, we call it as a primary lymphoid organ. Can anyone tell me the reason, okay, why this is called as a primary lymphoid organ? Yena, my T cells, that is my T lymphocytes, mature in the thymus pasangla. Okay, I think all of you know there are 2 kinds of lymphocyte, B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. My T lymphocyte matures in the thymus. Okay, that is why I call it as a primary lymphoid organ. This produces only one hormone pasangla, and the hormone pere thymosin. Idu romba easy. Thymus, thymosin. Amava illaya? It's very very easy, right? So what is this thymosin going to do? It is going to play a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocytes, okay, which provides cell mediated immunity. Idu kuda or question ah kekkalam. Okay, eppadi kekkalam ma'am? Thymosin helps in cell mediated immunity. True or false? True. Thymosin helps in humoral immunity. True or false? False. So you should remember this thymosin is going to help in cell mediated immunity, and this cell mediated immunity, in addition, obviously T cells are going to activate your B cell to produce antibodies. Okay, so primary avanga yara help pandranga? They are going to help your cell mediated immunity. Okay, so இன்னொரு முக்கியமான விஷயம் பசங்களா, நம்ம சின்ன குழந்தையா இருக்கும்போது இந்த தைமஸோட சைஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப பெருசா இருக்கும். Okay, as we grow older and older, the thymus starts degenerating. Okay, it becomes smaller. So பிறக்கும்போது இவ்ளோ பெருசா இருந்துச்சுனா it's again a butterfly shaped gland. Okay, as you grow older, it becomes degenerated, it becomes very very small. அதுக்கு தான் பசங்களா older people have very very less immunity. ஒரு 60 வயசு 65 வயசு ஆச்சுனா they all have very less immunity. Corona time la yaar romba பாதிக்கப்பட்டா? It was older people. Why? Older people have less immunity. Why do they have less immunity? Because they have a degenerated thymus. புரிஞ்சதா? Did everyone understand? So இதே வந்து எப்படி question ஆ கேட்கலாம்? Name the gland which degenerates with age. Can anyone tell me the answer? Name the gland which degenerates with age. சொல்லுங்க. Answer enna? Board la irukku. Thymus. Okay, as you grow older and older, the thymus starts degenerating. Yes, you should not have a doubt in that. So next let's move on pasangla. Adrenal gland. Okay, so where is this adrenal gland located? Modala இந்த adrenal gland enga irukku? So இந்த adrenal gland nama suprarenal gland nu kuda solrom. Enna solrom? Suprarenal gland nu solrom. It is located yes, very good Janice, very good. It is located above my kidney. Supra, above. Okay, so this adrenal gland is having 2 important regions pasangla. Okay, you have your centrally located medulla and your outer adrenal cortex. Okay, so இங்க உள்ள இருக்கிறது வந்து medulla, வெளிய இருக்கிறது வந்து cortical region. எப்பவுமே அது ஒரே மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். outer region na cortex, inner region na medulla. And this is also very important PYQ. Listen to me very carefully. இப்போ நம்ம முதல்ல என்ன பார்க்க போறோம்னா adrenal medulla வ பார்க்க போறோம். Okay, so this adrenal medulla secretes hormones called adrenaline, noradrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Ma'am, இது என்ன 4 ஹார்மோன் சொல்றீங்க, 2 ஹார்மோன் சொல்லிட்டு? No பசங்களா, there are just 2 hormones with different names. Okay, so we call them as adrenaline, otherwise called epinephrine. Okay, நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த confusion இருக்கும். Get it clarified right here. Okay, that is nor பசங்களா, N கிடையாது, அது வந்து NOR. Okay, noradrenaline, noradrenaline. Okay, norepinephrine ரெண்டுமே ஒண்ணுதான். ஓகே, இந்த ரெண்டு ஹார்மோனை நம்ம காமனா என்னன்னு சொல்றோம்னா we call it as catecholamines. Everything is a possible question here. Okay, catecholamines ன்னு சொல்றோம். இந்த catecholamines-க்கு இன்னொரு பேர் இருக்கு, emergency hormone or hormones of fight or flight. ஓகே, நான் ஒரு சினாரியோ சொல்றேன், நீங்களே சொல்லுங்கப்பா உங்க பாடியில் என்னெல்லாம் சேஞ்சஸ் ஆகும். இப்போ இமேஜின், ஓகே, அண்ட் ஐ ஹோப் இட் பிகம்ஸ் ட்ரூ. நீங்க நீட் எக்ஸாம்ல அபவ் 675 680 வாங்கிட்டீங்க, உங்க உடம்புல என்னெல்லாம் சேஞ்சஸ் ஆகும்? You will be too much excited, correct? Your heartbeat will increase. Okay, your pupil will dilate. என்ன நானா இவ்வளோ மார்க் வாங்கி இருக்கிறது? Yes or no பசங்களா? So there are certain things that happens in your body. Okay, and all those certain things are controlled by these 2 hormones called adrenaline. Yes, butterflies. Yes, and you have என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு மாதிரி ஸ்டொமக்ல ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருக்கும்ல, they are all due to these hormones. Okay, ஒரு ஹாப்பி நோட், அது ஒரு சேட் நோட்டுக்கு. One second. இப்போ கேக்குதா? இப்போ கேக்குதா? Am I audible now? Yes? Am I audible now? Okay, fine. Yeah, so what was I telling? One hormone prepares your body for emergency situation, other hormone prepares your body to get back to the normal situation. So அதனால தான் அதை வந்து flight or fight hormone. So எத்தனை பேர் மொபைலை flight மோட்ல போடுவீங்க, right? Flight mode where you don't receive call, where you don't get any disturbance. Yes or no? உங்க பாடி எவ்வளோ முடியுமோ அந்த சிச்சுவேஷனை டேக்கிள் பண்ணோம் பசங்களா. If it is not possible, they will go unconscious. கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க, ரைட்? எக்ஸாம் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ல, எக்ஸாம் ஹாலில் நிறைய பேர் மயக்கம் போட்டு கீழே விழுறதை பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. ப்ரேயர் ஹாலில், உங்கள் ஸ்கூலில் ப்ரேயர் ஹாலில் நிறைய பேர் மயக்கம் போட்டு கீழே விழுறதை பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. That is because your body enters into a flight mode. I either fight as much as I can, or I enter into a flight mode to protect my body. So we call it as a fight or a flight hormone. Yes, so that used to happen. முன்னெல்லாம் ரொம்ப நடக்கும். நாங்கள் ஸ்கூல் படிக்கும் போதெல்லாம் ப்ரேயர் ஹாலில் எல்லாரும் பக்கத்து, they used to fall down. ஒருத்தங்க விழுந்தா இன்னொருத்தங்க விழுந்துருவாங்க. So that used to happen, right? Yeah, so ரொம்ப முக்கியம். The hormone increase alertness, pupillary dilation, piloerection, rising of your hairs, sweating, both the hormone increases the heartbeat, the strength of the heart contraction and the rate of respiration. Rombo mukkiyam. Catecholamines also stimulate the breakdown of glycogen. Rombo mukkiyam pasangala. Ye glycogen break agano. Usually in emergency situation we don't eat anything, correct? So your body still survives. How is it surviving? Because there is a reserve food material called glycogen which is broken down into glucose. Right? So this breaking down of glycogen is, we call it as glycogenolysis. So what is glycogenolysis? So glycogen is broken down into glucose, okay, thereby increasing my sugar level. They can ask you which hormone brings about glycogenolysis. Kudukala textbook la, but they have told very clearly breakdown of glycogen. Breakdown of glycogen is nothing but glycogenolysis. Lysis na enna? Breakdown, resulting in increased concentration of glucose in the blood. In addition, they also stimulate the breakdown of lipids and proteins. Is it clear, pasangla? Is catecholamines clear for you? Catecholamines are nothing but your adrenaline, noradrenaline, epinephrine or norepinephrine. Okay, can we continue? Can we see adrenal cortex now? Adrenal cortex la irka hormones padipoma. Yes. So this adrenal cortex is entirely covered by a capsule, pasangla. So moonu mukkiyamaana capsule irukku, okay, and you should remember it in the same order. The first one, you have zona reticularis, which is an inner layer, zona fasciculata, which is a middle layer, and the outer zona glomerulosa. So enna varudhu, veliye irundhu ulla eludala, easy ah nabagam vechikalam. This is asked, okay, zona glomerulosa, then you have zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. So this is what, pasangla? This is your outer layer, this is your middle layer and this is your inner layer. Okay, so your adrenal cortex is divided into these three important layers. Okay, and these adrenal cortex secretes hormones called corticoids. Corticoids. I think you guys can remember. Okay, so adrenal cortex enna mariyana hormone produce pannudhu? It is producing hormones called corticoids. Okay, can anyone watching the live tell me what are the three types of corticoids? Piloerection na goosebumps vanda unga mudi abbe straight ah nikkumla. Have you ever experienced it, Janice? Pilo means hair, erection means standing of hairs. Have you ever experienced? I get that goosebumps whenever I listen to this in a patriotic songs. That happens with me, right? Sila perku sila moment la goosebumps varum. That's motivation speech kekumode I get goosebumps. Yes, that is what we call it as piloerection. Okay, moonu vidhamana corticoids irukku. Can anyone tell me what are the three important types of corticoids? Okay, we call them as glucocorticoids. Listen to me very carefully. Okay, the next one is mineralocorticoids. The next one is sex or androgenic corticoids. Okay, so these are the three important corticoids which we are going to discuss. Ma'am, corticoids na enna ma'am? It is the hormones of adrenal cortex. Can we continue now? Can we see one by one? Yes. So what does this glucocorticoids do? Very simple. They help in the metabolism of carbohydrates. Okay. What do mineralocorticoids do? They help in the mineral balance. Then you have androgenic corticoid which help in maintaining the androgenic characters or sexual characters. Okay, now we shall see the very first corticoid. Okay, that is your glucocorticoid. Metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism are called as gluco. Am I audible? Clear arka ella? Any problem? Any issues? No, right? Okay, so we call it as glucocorticoid. ரொம்ப முக்கியம் பசங்களா. இந்த cortisol என்ற வேர்டை மட்டும் மறந்துடாதீங்க. It is one of the most important. Okay, I think I'm clear, right? My voice is clear, screen is visible. எந்த பிரச்சனையும் இல்லைன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Okay, the most important glucocorticoid is cortisol பசங்களா. ரொம்ப முக்கியம். இந்த cortisol வந்து நம்ம stress hormone னு கூட சொல்றோம். நம்ம எப்போ ரொம்பலாம் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸா இருக்கோமோ அப்போ வந்து நம்ம உடம்புல இந்த cortisol என்ற ஹார்மோன் ரொம்ப synthesize பண்ணப்படும். Remember that. Okay, thank you Sandhya, thank you. Yes, corticoids which regulate mineral balance are called mineralocorticoids. I already told you one such mineralocorticoid is aldosterone. Okay, cortisol என்றது என்னது பசங்களா? Glucocorticoid. Okay, then you have aldosterone. So what is aldosterone? It is a mineralocorticoid. Okay, this is very important. Simple ah keklam. They'll give you 4 options. They can ask you which of the following is a glucocorticoid, which of the following is a mineralocorticoid. They can ask you like that. Okay, yeah. இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பார்க்க போறோம்னா the function of glucocorticoids. Okay, listen to me very carefully. Again, this is important PYQ question. நிறைய வாட்டி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. ஒரு லைனும் நீங்க எல்லாருமே கிளியரா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். Right? So first of all, glucocorticoids பேர்லயே இருக்கு. They help in maintaining your carbohydrate metabolism. So முதல்ல என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்கன்னா they help in gluconeogenesis. So can anyone watching the live tell me what is gluconeogenesis? இந்த வேர்டை ஸ்ப்ளிட் பண்ணலாம் பசங்களா. ஓகே, genesis ஒரு வேர்ட், ஓகே, neo ஒரு வேர்ட், gluco ஒரு வேர்ட். Right? Gluco means what? Carbohydrate. Neo means what? New. Genesis means what? Synthesis. Okay, it is a synthesis of carbohydrates from non-carbohydrates. That is what we call it as gluconeogenesis. Okay, so clear ah purunjukonga. It is the synthesis of carbohydrates from non-carbohydrates. Non-carbohydrates na enna pasangla? Your fats, amino acid, that is what we call it as non-carbohydrates. Okay, so that's about your gluconeogenesis. Next enna kuduthirukanga? Lipolysis. What is lipolysis? Idu romba easy. What is lipolysis? Lipolysis. Let's again break this. Okay, rendu word, lysis or word, lipo or word, right? Lysis means what? Breakdown. Genesis means what? Synthesis. So can anyone tell me what is lipolysis? What is lipolysis? It is the breakdown of lipids. ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். Okay, next you have proteolysis. Proteolysis is again very easy. Proteolysis. Again, let's break the word. Okay, break பண்ணி படிச்சாலே ஈஸியா புரிஞ்சிரும், right? So it is the breakdown of protein. Breakdown of protein. புரிஞ்சுதா பசங்களா? Any doubts? All these 3 words: gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, and no, it is not synthesis, it is breakdown. That is what I am trying to tell. It is breakdown. Okay, yeah. Next, idu oru function. It inhibits cellular uptake and utilization of amino acid. This they can just copy paste and ask you a question. Dash inhibits the cellular uptake and utilization of amino acid, glucocorticoid. Okay, this is a potential line, NCERT line. Okay, cortisol is also involved in the cortisol. Glucocorticoid la ஒரு hormone இருக்குல்ல, cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney function. என்னோட ஹார்ட்டையும் என்னோட லங்ஸோட ஃபங்க்ஷனையும் ஹெல்ப் பண்ற ஃபங்க்ஷனுக்கும் cortisolக்கு இருக்கு. And it also helps in maintaining your kidney function. Okay, then glucocorticoid, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reaction and suppress the immune response. Okay, the cortisol oda function ரொம்ப முக்கியம் பசங்களா. I will write it down so there is no confusion. Okay, and this has been asked So cortisol, what is the first function? Helps in maintaining cardiovascular system. Okay, then kidney function. If you want, you can make it a note. It helps in anti-inflammatory. Pasangla, what is anti-inflammatory reaction? What is anti-inflammatory reaction? Anybody? Then it suppresses immune response. Eppala enoda immune response adhigama irukko appo indha cortisol vandu it suppress immune response. Okay, functions of cortisol very important. Then it also stimulates RBC production, right? Can anyone remember? Konja neram munadi da sonna. There is one more hormone that helps in RBC production. Can anyone tell? I agree. Cortisol also helps. There is one more hormone we discussed. Thyroid hormones. Right? So thyroid hormone and cortisol, both of them help in RBC production. Rombo mukkiyam. So these are the 5 functions of your cortisol. Don't ever forget it. Am I clear? So your thyroid hormone and your cortisol, both of them are going to help in RBC production, which is otherwise called erythropoiesis. இத வந்து நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்றோம்? Erythropoiesis ன்னு சொல்றோம் பசங்களா. Any doubts here? Any doubts here? Now let's move on to aldosterone. So இந்த aldosterone ன்றது என்ன பசங்களா? It is a mineralocorticoid. Aldosterone. What is it? It's a mineralocorticoid. What is it going to do? Again, NCERT line by line. Very important. Okay, it stimulates the reabsorption of sodium and water, and it is going to help in the excretion of potassium and phosphate ion. Rombo mukkiyamana line pasangla. Definitely they can ask. It is going to help in reabsorption of, okay, eldikonga, reabsorption of sodium and water, okay, and excretion of potassium and phosphate ion, PO4 minus. Purinjada? Is this clear everyone? Okay, so what is the function of aldosterone? It helps in maintaining your body fluid volume, it helps in maintaining your electrolyte balance, osmotic pressure and blood pressure. Rombo mukkiyam. Functions of your aldosterone. Okay, electrolyte balance, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure and blood pressure. Okay, then a very small amount of androgenic corticoid. I already told you sex corticoids are also produced. They are steroid in nature, they are lipid in nature. So what is the function? Development of axial hair, okay, and the underarm hair, pubic hair, facial hair, okay, during puberty. That is the function of your androgenic corticoid. Okay, so this is about your adrenal cortex. Romba mukkiyamanadu cortisol. Okay, adukku next aldosterone. These two lines are potent questions in your NEET. Okay, இது எல்லாமே ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Is it clear? Can we now continue pasangla? Any doubts? Any doubts here? Can I get a victory sign in the chat section? Now we are moving on to pancreas. Okay, ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது. முதல்ல pancreas பத்தி சொல்லலாம். What is this pancreas? Can anyone tell me where is it present? Where is this pancreas present? This pancreas, we call it by different names, right? We call it as a mixed gland. We call it as a heterocrine gland. Yeah, இது வந்து mixed gland, heterocrine gland ன்னு சொல்றாங்க. Anyone watching the live, can you tell me why is this called as a mixed gland and a heterocrine gland? Yes, because it has both endocrine and exocrine function pasangla. இதுக்கு ரெண்டு function இருக்கு. One part of the pancreas is endocrine and the other part is exocrine. Very good Janice. Okay, so this exocrine part of pancreas, இதுக்கு ஒரு பேர் இருக்கு. Does anyone know what is the exocrine part of pancreas? We call it as acinar cells. என்னன்னு சொல்றோம்? acinar cells ன்னு சொல்றோம். What is the endocrine part called? Anybody? We call it as islets of Langerhans. Okay, the endocrine, this acinar part will produce your pancreatic juice. Digestion la padichirpinga pona varsham, right? It is going to produce your pancreatic juice. And this is having, islets of Langerhans is having two types of cells. Okay, one is your alpha cell, other one is your beta cell, right? So, can anyone watching the live tell me what alpha cell produces and what beta cell produces? There are two important hormones. Your alpha cell produces one hormone and your beta cell produces another hormone. Okay, so your alpha cell produces a hormone called, one second, okay, here I will write. Yeah, okay, produces a hormone called glucagon and your beta cell produces a hormone called insulin. Okay, all of you put it in the chat section. Very good. Glucagon and insulin. Romba mukyamana hormone. Okay, so we call it as glucagon and insulin. So how does this glucagon and insulin affect? Does anyone know? What is the function of this glucagon and insulin? Glucagon and insulin oda function enna? So both glucagon and insulin are involved in carbohydrate metabolism pasangla. Romba mukkiyam. Carbohydrate metabolism in solradhoda they help in maintaining the glucose metabolism. Yes, glucose level in what? Glucose level in what? Is it in your blood, lymph, pancreas? Where is the glucose level maintained? The glucose level is maintained in your blood. Okay, romba mukyamana hormones. Okay, so first let's talk about glucagon. Okay, so what is this glucagon? It is a peptide hormone, protein hormone. Rendume glucagon sari, insulin sari, rendume or a peptide hormone. It plays a very important role in maintaining the normal blood glucose level. Can anyone tell me what is a normal blood glucose level? Normal blood glucose level evlo pasangla? 80 to 120 mg per dl. Okay, per deciliter. 80 to 120 irunda, 120 mg irunda, we call it as a normal blood sugar level. Okay, iதை note down பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cells or the hepatocyte and stimulates glycogenolysis, resulting in increased blood sugar level called hyperglycemia. So, ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா சொல்றேன். என்னோட bloodல clear-ஆ கேளுங்க. Low sugar இருக்கு. The sugar is very low. Okay, so now your alpha cells, okay, will release what? It will release a hormone called glucagon. Okay, and this glucagon is going to act on what? Hepatocytes. Okay, what is hepatocyte? Anybody? Hepatocyte na enna? Very easy question. Hepatocyte is nothing but your liver cells. Okay, yeah ma'am, liver cells appai attack panadhu, or why is it stimulating my hepatocyte? Because it is in my hepatocytes where I have a very important molecule called glycogen. Okay, enoda liver la da glycogen store aayirukku, enoda liver and muscles la. Okay, now this glycogen is broken down into glucose. எப்படி break ஆகுது பசங்களா? Glycogen is broken down into glucose and it is going to increase my blood sugar levels. ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். Okay, and that is why I call this glucagon as an hyperglycemic hormone. Okay, நிறைய பேருக்கு இதுல confusion இருக்கு. If this is clear, we will move on to insulin. If your glucagon is correct. Yes, hyperglycemia is prolonged high sugar level. Very good Sandhya, very good. Okay, yes, can we continue? Can we continue pasangla? Now let's talk about your insulin. What is this insulin? Insulin is again a peptide hormone. So idu enna pannona? Now imagine my blood sugar levels are high. என்னோட blood sugar levels ரொம்ப high-ஆ இருக்கு. அப்போ உங்க beta cells will produce insulin. Okay, so now this insulin will induce the cellular uptake of glucose. ரொம்ப முக்கியம். So it is going to allow the cells to take more and more glucose. So as a result, the blood sugar level decreases. Very good Sandhya. Yes, absolutely correct. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to hepatocytes and adipocytes. What are adipocytes? Fat storing tissue. Okay, and insulin, and resulting in decreased blood sugar level, that is hypoglycemia. Insulin also stimulates the conversion of glucose into glycogen. So enna pannudhu insulin? It is going to increase the cellular uptake of glucose. Okay, that is the very first point. What is the next point, pasangla? The glucose is converted into glycogen. So can anyone watching the live, அது அப்படியே கேட்க மறந்துட்டேன், glycogen na என்ன pasangla? Glucose ku glycogen ku என்ன difference? What is the difference between glucose and glycogen? I'll just drink some water. Yeah, சொல்லுங்க pasangla, glucose na என்ன, glycogen na என்ன? Glycogen is a polysaccharide, right? Glucose is a monosaccharide. That means what? Glucose is single sugar. Glycogen is made up of multiple sugar units. Okay, and hence it is going to decrease the blood sugar level. So adanala adha enna kooprom pasangala? We call it as a hypoglycemic factor. Purinjada? Ellarku purinjada? What is hyperglycemic and what is vanakkam? So is it clear what is hyperglycemic and hypoglycemic? Can we continue now? Now, ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம், இப்போ எல்லாருமே இந்த நீட் எக்ஸாம் காண்டி கிடையாது, ஸோ எல்லாருமே இந்த விஷயத்தை புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். பீட் பயோ ஸ்டூடெண்ட், நான் பயோ ஸ்டூடெண்ட், எல்லாருமே புரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டிய விஷயம் டயபெட்டிக் மெலிட்டஸ். ஓகே, டயபெட்டிஸ் இல்லை டயபெட்டிக் மெலிட்டஸ். What is this diabetic mellitus pasangla? Prolonged hyperglycemia. So first symptom enna solran adha? Prolonged hyperglycemia. What is hyperglycemia? Anyone watching the live? What is hyperglycemia? It is high sugar level is called hyperglycemia. ஒரு நாள் ரெண்டு நாள் கிடையாது, சில வாரங்கள் சில மாதங்கள் sugar level வந்து ஹையாவே இருந்துச்சுனா, that is what we call it as prolonged hyperglycemia. Why does this hyperglycemia occur? This hyperglycemia occurs due to this word is very important, hyposecretion of insulin. என்னோட insulin வந்து சரியா produce பண்ணப்படல, that is when it results in diabetic mellitus. Okay, so என்ன மேம் ஆகும்? என்னோட bloodல sugar level அதிகமா இருந்தா என்ன ஆகலாம்? நீங்களே யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. So can anyone tell me what happens if there is a prolonged hyperglycemia? சொல்லுங்க, என்னன்னா ஆகலாம்? So என்னோட blood first symptom வந்து blood sugar level வந்து அதிகமா இருக்கும். Okay, that is somewhere more than 140. Okay, even 120 to 140 is considered okay, but if it is more than 140, next ரொம்ப முக்கியம் பசங்களா, உங்க செல்ஸ்க்கு குளுக்கோஸ் கிடைக்காது, right? bloodல sugar இருந்து என்ன பிரயோஜனம்? My cells should get the sugar, right? Should get the glucose. So my cells starve, okay, without glucose. That is the second ever thing that happens due to diabetes. Okay, clear pasangla? Next enna aagalam? Vera enna aagalam? So enna agum? Enoda cells ku glucose kedaikala, So you always feel tired. That is what we call it as fatigue. Okay, ரொம்ப பசிச்சிட்டே இருக்கும். உங்க வீட்ல யாராவது டயபெட்டிக் பேஷண்ட் இருந்தா நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, அவங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சாப்பிடணும் தோணிட்டே இருக்கும். We call it as polyphagia, right? Frequent hunger. Polyphagia na enna? Frequent hunger. Why this is happening? Because my cells are not getting enough glucose. That is why this is happening. Okay. This is new NCERT and old NCERT. It is the same syllabus. In the chapter la endha oru change me kedaiyadu. Okay. Yes. AD square. Yes. Next enna nadakalam pasangala? There is something called as glycosuria. Idu enna pasangala? Glycosuria na enna? Does anyone know it? It is romba mukkiyam, excretion of glucose through urine. Okay, they can ask you which of the following is a symptom of diabetes? Glycosuria. Okay, either tavara you also have ketonuria. Okay, what is ketonuria? Again, it is ketone bodies in the urine. ஓகே, ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். இந்த டயபெட்டிஸ்ன்றது ஒரு கொடூரமான ஒரு டிசார்டர் பசங்களா. இப்போ தெரியாது. See, என்னோட forefathers, maybe my grandmother's father, they all got diabetes after 60 years. Okay, my grandmother should have got diabetes at 45-50 years. Okay, nowadays anyone who has crossed 35, they get diabetes. Okay, so நான் முதல்ல சொன்ன மாதிரி இது நீட் எக்ஸாமோட நீங்க எல்லாரும் தெரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டிய ஒரு விஷயம். Yes, weight loss. Yes, very good. Weight loss, sudden weight loss நடக்கும். Then நீங்க என்னெல்லாம் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்க, டயபெட்டிஸ்ல என்னெல்லாம் பார்த்திருக்கீங்க, என்னெல்லாம் நடக்கும். They get very tired பசங்களா, ரொம்ப tired ஆயிருவாங்க. ஓகே, இது ப்ரொலாங்டா ஒரு 5 ல இருந்து 10 வருஷத்து வரைக்கும் அவங்களுக்கு டயபெட்டிஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா பசங்களா, they will get heart disease, they will get kidney failure. Okay, diabetic retinopathy னு ஒன்று வரும். உங்க ரெட்டினால cataract மாதிரி ஒரு எக்ஸ்ட்ரா செல் மாதிரி ஒன்று வளரும். Okay, all these are the side effects of diabetes. It can adversely affect your heart, lungs, kidney, all your vital organs will be affected by diabetes. Okay, so இதை வந்து நம்ம ரெண்டு விதமா பிரிக்கிறோம் பசங்களா. One is type 1, other one is type 2. Okay, does anyone know what is type 1 and what is type 2? We will discuss. Thirsty, I discussed. Solalaya. Okay, we call it as polydipsia. Polydipsia na frequent thirst. அவங்களுக்கு வந்து தண்ணி தாகம் எடுத்துட்டே இருக்கும். Very good, Sandhya. Yes. So now there are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Okay, what is type 1? பசங்களா இது ரொம்ப கொடூரமான ஒரு விஷயம். Type 1 we call it as juvenile diabetes. Okay, பிறந்த குழந்தைக்கு இருக்கும் diabetes. ஏன் மேம் பிறந்த குழந்தைக்கு இருக்கும்? ஏன்னா அந்த குழந்தையோட ஜீன்ல இன்சுலின் ஜீன் வந்து ப்ராப்பரா ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகாது. The child is not able to produce enough insulin. Okay, from the time till they are born, till the time they die, they all get insulin injection all 3 times before meal. That is what we call juvenile diabetes. Okay, it is not curable. அது வந்து ட்ரீட் பண்ண முடியாது. சிம்டம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் தான். அது எப்படி பண்றாங்க? இன்சுலின் இன்ஜெக்ஷன்ஸ் கொடுத்து மேனேஜ் பண்றாங்க. ஓகே, டைப் 2, this is what we call it as a lifestyle disorder. இதை நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்றோம் பசங்களா? lifestyle disorder ன்னு சொல்றோம். Right, this happens. இப்போ முன்னெல்லாம் நாங்க படிக்கும்போது my teacher used to teach me above 50, 55. Now I guys should teach you above 40, sometimes even above 35, right? So let's keep it as above 40. Okay, 40 வயசு மேல ஒருத்தங்களோட லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் பேஸ் பண்ணி அவங்க சாப்பிட்ற ஹேபிட்ஸ், அவங்களோட ட்ரிங்கிங் ஹேபிட், ஸ்மோக்கிங் ஹேபிட், ஓகே, அவங்களோட செடென்டரி லைஃப் ஸ்டைல்னா உட்கார்ந்த இடத்துல இருந்தே வேலை பார்க்கறது, நோ ஃபிசிக்கல் ஆக்டிவிட்டி, தட் இஸ் வென் யுவர் டைப் 2 டயபெட்டிஸ் அட்டாக்ஸ். Okay, அதுதான் type 2 diabetes. And is it curable ma'am? Is it reversible ma'am? Yes பசங்களா, diabetes is reversible in the initial stage. அதுக்குன்னு 10 வருஷம் எனக்கு diabetes இருந்துச்சு, 10வது வருஷம் நான் யோசிச்சு திருப்பி அந்த diabetes ரிவர்ஸ் பண்ண முடியுமானா அது ஒரு question தான். Initially எனக்கு இப்பதான் வந்து அதை வந்து diagnose பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, ஒரு 1 year 2 year நான் கஷ்டப்பட்டேனா, if I change my diet, if I increase my physical activity, can I reverse diabetes? Absolutely you can reverse diabetes. I have seen people who were taking insulin injections, getting back to tablets and finally without any tablets. அது எப்படி manage பண்றதுனா your lifestyle. Okay, when I tell about lifestyle, it's about healthy food. Okay, someone had asked me regarding food, right? So what is the food that you should take? You should avoid all carbs. Carbohydrates சுத்தமா avoid பண்ணிரணும். You should take more protein rich food. Okay, your food should not have much of sugars. அதுதான் main ஐடியாவே அதுல. Anything in white don't consume ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, right? So that is one thing. The second thing is you must have some amount of physical activity. That's very very important. At least 20 minutes of walking is compulsory. Okay, other than this you have to include certain avoid certain bad habits. Okay, in the fast food, junk food, அதெல்லாம் avoid பண்ணா நம்மலாம், yes, fiber rich food very good, நம்மலாம் இந்த diabetes வந்து தப்பிக்கலாம், right? So நம்ம காலத்துல next 10-15 yearsல above 35 எல்லாருக்கும் diabetes வரலாம். India is the diabetes capital of the world. Okay, you people don't know how many people are suffering from this. ஒரு physician க்கு நல்ல business தான், because India has become a diabetic capital. Okay, இது என்ன மேம் நடக்கும் diabetes on a long run? As I already told you, kidney failure, okay, heart failure, அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய combinations or deadly-ஆன combinations this diabetes can lead to. It is a disorder, it's not a disease. Clear? Can we continue? Can we continue? Any doubts? Yes, by this we complete pancreas. Pancreas fulla mudichitom. Yeah, that is what we have discussed, ketone bodies. And how are we treating? We are treating it with via insulin therapy. Yes, for everything, that too in this kind it is the first, India is first. So this is the real image of pancreas. Okay, yeah. Now we are coming to the 9th important gland, that is your testis. இத பத்தி நிறைய பேசியிருக்கோம், right? So we have a pair of testis. It's a male reproductive organ. It performs dual function. It acts as a primary sex organ and it also acts as an endocrine gland. I think all of you know there is in the testis there is seminiferous tubule. In the seminiferous tubule spermatogenesis is happening. Outside the seminiferous tubule you have cells called Leydig cell or interstitial cell, which is going to produce something called as your androgens. Okay, so which cells are producing androgen? Your Leydig cell. And the Leydig cell ki innor per enna? Interstitial cell. Okay, and this important androgen is testosterone. இப்போ testosterone function ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். They help in the development, maturation and function of male accessory sex organs like epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, human reproduction la clear படிச்சிருப்பீங்க, prostate gland, urethra. Okay, these hormones stimulate muscular growth. Men are more muscular than women. Okay, growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, this is very important. Low pitch voice, men have low pitch voice, women have high pitch voice. Okay, androgens play a major stimulatory role in the process of spermatogenesis. We already discussed. Androgen act on the central nervous system, CNS, and influence the male sexual behavior. These hormones produce anabolic effect on protein and carbohydrates. What is anabolism? What is anabolism? They produce synthetic effects. Okay, so this is something new. And every line is a PYQ. They can ask in terms of testis as well as your human reproductive system. ரெண்டு விதத்திலையும் இத கேட்கலாம். Okay, so this is already repeated. Next, let's see ovaries. Okay, so females have a pair of ovaries located in the abdomen. It's the primary sex organ and it also acts as an endocrine gland. Okay, ovaries la ரெண்டு முக்கியமான ஹார்மோன் இருக்கு. ஒன்னு வந்து estrogen, இன்னொன்னு வந்து progesterone. What is estrogen? What is progesterone? Can anyone tell me who is producing estrogen, who is producing progesterone? Okay, so ovary is composed of ovarian follicle and stromal tissue. The estrogen is synthesized by growing follicles. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Okay, estrogen who is producing? Growing follicles. Who is producing progesterone? Anyone? Who is producing progesterone? Progesterone is produced by corpus luteum. Okay, this corpus luteum is a temporary endocrine gland. Okay, இப்போ ஒண்ணா படிக்கலாம் estrogen function, progesterone function. Okay, estrogen produces a wide-ranging action such as stimulation of growth and activities of female secondary organ, development of growth, ovarian follicle, appearance of female secondary sex character, mammary gland development. Estrogen also regulate the sexual development. Okay, progesterone, in the progesterone ki innor peru irukku pasangala, we call it as pregnancy hormone. ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். We call it as pregnancy hormone. It is also acting on the mammary gland and stimulates the formation of alveoli and milk secretion. Yes, corpus luteum, very good. Okay, so it already நீங்க human reproduction la master பண்ணிருப்பீங்க. So here it is going to be very easy. Estrogen and progesterone. So இங்க வந்து ஒரே ஒரு ஹார்மோன் தான் androgen, இங்க வந்து ரெண்டு ஹார்மோன் estrogen and progesterone. Okay, so I already told you hormones that are produced by kidney, heart and GIT. Okay, so this is the last hormones that we are going to study. Okay, so முதல்ல நம்ம heart பத்தி பார்க்கலாம். Okay, heart produces one hormone called ANF. நம்ம இந்த ANF வந்து excretory products and their excretion லியும் பார்த்தோம், right? So can anyone tell me what is ANF? Already இருக்கு, it is called atrial natriuretic factor. Who is producing this? This is produced by the atrium. The upper two chamber is going to produce this. The atrial wall produces ANF. In the ANF enna pannona, it is going to decrease blood pressure. Eppalla enoda blood pressure adhigama irukko, this ANF is produced in your atrium and it is going to decrease my blood pressure. So how is blood pressure decreased? It is decreased by a process called vasodilation, right? What is vasodilation, ma'am? So imagine this is a blood vessel. இது ரொம்ப constrict ஆயிருக்கு, இது ரொம்ப குட்டியா இருக்கு அந்த blood vessel. So அப்ப என்ன நடக்கும்? The blood pressure is very high. Okay, so when the same blood vessel gets dilated, this is called dilation. So the blood is going to flow more easily. That is going to decrease my blood pressure. So vasodilation decreases my blood pressure, vasoconstriction increases my blood pressure. Is it clear? That is about your ANF. ரொம்ப clear ஆ ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. It brings about vasodilation பசங்களா. Okay, so முதல்ல முடிச்சாச்சு. So next you have kidney. Okay, so உங்க kidneyல, is this clear? Yes or no? Okay, உங்க kidney is made up of functional units called nephron. Right? So in nephron you have a structure called JGA. What is JGA? Juxtaglomerular apparatus or juxtaglomerular cell. Okay, so we call it as juxtaglomerular cell illa glomerular apparatus. This is producing one important hormone called erythropoietin. Can anyone in the class tell me what is the function of erythropoietin? இப்பதான் படிச்சோம், just a few minutes back. It is going to help in the RBC formation. Very good. Okay, so இது என்ன பண்ணோம்? It is going to help in erythropoiesis. Right? So இப்போ நம்ம இப்போ வரைக்கும் I have told you that 3 hormones are involved in RBC formation, right? So can anyone tell me what are the 3 hormones that are involved in RBC formation? இதுல ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம் நம்ம படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம், right? You can make a note of it. Let me see how many answers I will get. 3 hormones involved in RBC formation. Anybody? First, yes, very good, Janice, super. Then thyroid hormones. Next, Next, cortisol or glucocorticoid, very good. Then இப்ப படிச்சது, right? Erythropoietin. இப்படி தான் பசங்களா நீங்க படிக்கணும். Okay, you need to combine, gather the information, process it in your mind and just think what kind of question they can ask. Okay, they can ask you which of the following hormone is involved in RBC formation. எக்கச்சக்கமான ஹார்மோன் கொடுத்துட்டு pick the correct combination ன்னு கொடுக்கலாம். You should remember it as thyroid, cortisol and erythropoietin. Okay, can we continue now? Yes. Now we will move on to GIT. Ma'am, GIT na enna ma'am? Your entire gastrointestinal tract starting from your mouth till your anus is what we call it as GIT pasangla. Okay, they produce 4 important peptide hormone. What is peptide hormone? Proteinaceous hormone. Okay, so what is the first hormone? Gastrin. This is very, very important. You will see PYQs from this. I have included the PYQs. You guys will solve it. Okay, next you have secretin. Okay, gastrin, secretin. Then you have cholecystokinin. Okay, then you have GIP, gastric inhibitory peptide. ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷனும் முக்கியம் பசங்களா. They have asked it in the past. Okay, so first let's see gastrin. So gastrin stimulates your gastric gland. Ma'am, gastric gland எங்க இருக்கு? Where is gastric gland present? Anybody? Where is gastric gland present? It's present in your stomach. Okay, so gastrin is going to stimulate what? Gastric gland. Now what does this gastric gland produce pasangla? The gastric gland produces gastric juice. அது வந்து gastric juice produce பண்ணும். Okay, next you have secretin. It acts on the exocrine pancreas. நான் இப்பதான் சொன்னேன், pancreasல வந்து endocrine பார்ட்டும் இருக்கு, exocrine பார்ட்டும் இருக்கு. It is going to act on the exocrine part of your pancreas. Okay, and stimulate the secretion of water and bicarbonate ion. So secretin acts on what? Exocrine part of pancreas. Okay, and it is going to stimulate the secretion of water and bicarbonate ion, that is HCO3 ion. Okay, purinjada? Please parallelly make a note of this table. Okay, the next one is CCK, cholecystokinin. It acts both on gallbladder and pancreas. Okay, so secretin vandu it acts only on pancreas. Okay, whereas my cholecystokinin acts both on gallbladder and pancreas. So meanwhile, can anyone tell me what is gallbladder? What is gallbladder pasangla? Gallbladder is where your bile is stored. Bile is produced by the liver and it is stored in the gallbladder. Okay, the last one is GIP. Okay, gastric inhibitory peptide. எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் gastric secretions நடந்துட்டே இருந்தா is it good for your health? No, it is not good for your health. Okay, so it inhibits gastric secretion and motility. பேர்லயே இருக்கு. Okay, it inhibits gastric secretions. This is a potential match the following question which has been asked in the past and definitely they can ask. Okay, these factors are essential for the normal growth of tissue and their repairing or regeneration. There are some non-endocrine glands, they secrete growth factors in the body. Okay, இந்த நாலு மட்டும் முக்கியமா ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. Gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin and GIP. Can we continue pasangla? Can we continue? We still have 2 more very small parts. Yes? Okay. Yeah. Mechanism of hormone action. This is more important. Okay. So what is this mechanism of hormone action? ஒரு ஹார்மோன், இப்போ இது ஒரு ஹார்மோன் வச்சுக்கோங்க. This hormone has to bind to something called as receptor pasangla. Okay, hormone binds to the target tissue by binding to proteins called hormone receptor. So இது ஒரு செல்லுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. Okay, hormone வருது, hormone வந்து எங்க bind ஆகும்? It binds to the proteins called hormone receptors. And where are these hormone receptors located? They are located in the target tissue. Okay, so these hormone receptors, they can be present on the cell membrane or they can be present inside the cell. So அது ரொம்ப ஈஸியா சொல்லி தரேன். So you have hormones. Hormones bind to receptor. Okay, this receptor can be of two types. இந்த receptor எங்க இருக்கு பசங்களா? It is present on my target cell. Where is my receptor present? என்னோட target cell இருக்கு. This receptor can be present. So imagine if this is the cell. Okay, the receptor can be present on the cell. Okay, or that is called cell surface receptor or membrane bound receptor. Or the receptor can be present inside the cell. Okay, so there are two kinds of receptor. One is membrane bound, okay, or cell surface. We will discuss. Okay, cell surface na inoda cell oda veli pagudiyila irukku. Or you will have intracellular receptors. புரிஞ்சுதா பசங்களா? What are the two important kind of receptor? Yes, they bind to the target cell. Membrane bound or cell surface receptor and intracellular. Intrana cellukulla irukkirathu. Okay, now what happens? This hormone will bind to receptor. They are going to form a hormone receptor complex. Okay, இப்போ இந்த ஹார்மோன் receptor complex bind ஆனோனே அந்த செல்ல நிறைய changes நடக்கும் பசங்களா. So they are going to bring about a lot of changes and they produce certain biochemical changes in the target cell and they are brought about by production of intracellular messengers. Okay, so very important. As I already told you, hormone binds to receptor, it forms the hormone receptor complex. So now this hormone receptor complex is going to activate my target cell. இப்போ வந்து target cell full energized ஆகும், அதோட function அதோட வேலை பார்க்கிறதுக்கு அது full-ஆ energized ஆயிரும். Okay, now there are different kinds of hormones. This is also a very important PYQ. நிறைய வாட்டி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. Hormones classified based on their chemical nature. Chemically என்னப்பா அந்த ஹார்மோன்? அது ஒரு அமைனோ ஆசிடா, அது ஒரு ஸ்டீராய்டா, அது ஒரு புரோட்டீனா, எப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு ஹார்மோன் பேஸ் பண்ணி they are classified into these four types. Okay, so first you have peptide, polypeptide. One second. Okay, so peptide, polypeptide and protein hormone. There you have insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormone, hypothalamic hormone. இவங்கெல்லாம் எப்படிப்பட்ட ஹார்மோன்? Proteinaceous hormones. Okay, they can ask you which of the following is a protein hormone, which of the following is not a protein hormone. கண்டிப்பா கேட்கலாம் பசங்களா. Then you have steroids. Cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, progesterone. They are all lipid derivatives. Okay, lipid derivative. Iodothyronin, they are derived from iodine. Okay, example thyroid hormone, your T3 and T4. Okay, whereas your TCT, thyrocalcitonin, is a peptide hormone. T3 and T4 are iodothyronins. Okay, then you have amino acid derivative, epinephrine, norepinephrine. They are all examples for amino acid derivatives. Is this clear pasangla? Any doubts here? Okay, I'll just ask you one question. Let me take these two. These two are the majority of the hormone. Okay, so idhula edu vanda hydrophobic, edu vanda hydrophilic. Okay, you have a peptide hormone and you have a steroid hormone. In this, which is hydrophobic and which is hydrophilic? So this protein hormone are hydrophilic, correct? Whereas the steroid hormone are hydrophobic. ஆமாவா இல்லையா பசங்களா? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can we continue here? This is hydrophilic, this is hydrophobic. Okay, இப்போ இத பேஸ் பண்ணி they have different kinds of receptors. Okay, let's talk about intracellular and extracellular receptors. Yes, hormones which interact with membrane bound receptors normally do not enter the target cell. So let's see this example. Okay, so idu parunga, idu or hormone FSH. In the FSH endradhu epdipatta hormone? It is a peptide hormone. So it's a very very important peptide hormone. Am I audible, pasangla? Can we continue? This is a very important peptide hormone. And do you think the protein, இது வந்து உங்களோட உங்க plasma membrane ரெண்டு region இருக்கு. ஒன்னு வந்து hydrophilic, இன்னொன்னு வந்து hydrophobic. Correct? So this peptide hormone, being hydrophilic, it actually cannot enter your cell. Okay, so it goes and binds to the receptor which is outside the cell, right? So what you are seeing here, and the hormone வந்து செல்லுக்குள்ளேயே வரல, அது செல்லுக்குள்ளேயே வராம அதோட வேலையை அது பண்ணுது, right? So these kind of protein hormones have cell surface receptors. So ellarum the chat section la podunga, protein hormones have membrane bound receptors or cell surface receptors. Okay, so what is it going to do? It is going to bring a lot of physiological response. Okay, it is going to help in the synthesis of intracellular messengers. So what is an example for intracellular messenger? This can also be a question. It is cyclic AMP and calcium. These are the two important examples for intracellular messengers. Which of the following is an intracellular messenger in Keklam? Or secondary messenger? Both are correct. Okay, intracellular or secondary messenger. They can ask you a question. Purinjada pasangla? Now, you see, certain hormones can enter the cell. Inga parunga, இந்த estrogen. இந்த estrogen என்றது எப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு molecule? It is hydrophobic, right? So this hydrophobic can pass through my hydrophobic core of my plasma membrane, and interestingly this estrogen has a receptor inside the nucleus. அது nucleus உள்ள வரைக்கும் அதால travel பண்ண முடியும். So இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா it is going to form the hormone receptor complex, okay, which is later going to help in the activation of transcription. So what is this changes I am talking about? This changes is nothing but replication, transcription, cell death, okay, cell repair, tissue repair. அதெல்லாம் எப்படி நடக்குதுன்னா இந்த மாதிரி messengers-னால தான் நடக்குது. And who is bringing about this messenger? The hormone and receptor complex is bringing about the messengers here. Okay, so now we will see these lines. These lines will be very very easy now. They generate second messengers, cyclic AMP, IP3. IP3 na enna? Inositol triphosphate. That is what we call it as IP3. Okay, which in turn regulate your cellular metabolism. Hormones which interact with intracellular receptors, example steroid hormone, iodothyronine, mostly regulate gene expression. Rombo mukkiyamaana vishayam. Every line here is a potential question. Okay, so cumulative biochemical action result in physiological and developmental effect. Pasangla, inga oru hormone taniya function pannala pasangla. They are all functioning as a team. Okay, so we have an synergistic effect. So synergistic na, they are working together. Okay, they work as a team and bring about all the important functions that are very very necessary for the living of an organism. Okay, so that completes this entire hormones. If you guys have any doubts you can ask, or else we can go with the PYQs. So PYQs start pannalama? Ellarum ready ya? Are all of you ready for PYQs? Yes or no? Okay, the very first question 2023 la ketirukanga. I think the options are clear. Yes, not so bad, it's clear. Solunga pasangala, answers solunga. What are the answers? Just now we discussed. I told you question ah kepanga. It actually rendu vaati repeat aayirukku. They have asked it 2 times. CCK, GIP, ANF, ADH. What is the list 1, list 2 kuduthirukanga. So modalla shall we let me see who will tell me the answer. CCK, okay, GIP, ANF, ADH. Yes, answer A. Okay, CCK acts on pancreas, correct. GIP acts on your gastric gland, very good. Then ANF, atrial natriuretic factor, that is by your heart. Okay, then you have ADH, that is going to act on kidney. Right, very, very good, superb. You get 4 marks. Just concentrate, revise, read, you get 4 marks. Okay, yes, so 2023 la ketirukanga. Can we continue? Very good, Janice, very good, Sandhya, superb. Shall we continue with the next question? Yes or no? Can I get a victory sign in the chat section? Yes. Which of the following, listen to the question carefully, is not under the control of thyroid hormone? Idhula edhu vande enoda thyroid hormone oda control la illa. Okay, maintenance of water and electrolyte balance, regulation of BMR, normal rhythm of sleep wake cycle, development of immune system, support the process of RBC formation. Choose the correct answer from the given options below. I will wait. So which of the following is not the function? Solunga pasangala answer. Again, NCERT copy paste. You can go back and look into your NCERT also. Very good, Shalini. Very good, Janice. Very good. Yes. So idu rendu vande nammaloda thyroid oda function kedaiyadhu, right? So the answer is option C. Appa vera endha gland oda function pasangala? Normal rhythm of sleep wake cycle. It is, what is the hormone involved? It is melatonin. Here what is the hormone involved? It is thymosin, right? Who is producing melatonin? It is your pineal gland. Who is producing thymosin? It is your thymus gland, right? Is this clear? So the right answer is what? Very good, very good. Yes, option C. So rendu question ketirukanga pasangala 2023 la. So one vandu other hormones based panni, innon vandu it is based on thyroid gland. So that's why I tell thyroid gland is very, very important. Okay, so next one, which of the following are not the effects? Or pencil vachi adha not vandu nalla underline pannirunga. Effects of parathyroid hormone. எது வந்து என்னோட parathyroid hormone ஓட function கிடையாது? PTH. Let me see how many of you will answer. This is a little confusing question. Okay. So என்ன பண்ணோம் பசங்களா என்னோட PTH? First of all, is it an hypercalcemic or hypocalcemic hormone? Can anyone tell me? What kind of hormone is your PTH? It is an hypercalcemic hormone. மொத விஷயம் நீங்க எல்லாரும் புரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டியது, right? So which of the following is not in கேட்டிருக்காங்க? Does it decrease calcium level in the blood? No, it doesn't decrease the calcium level, right? Answers. Okay, stimulate the process of bone resorption. Yes, it is going to stimulate the process of bone resorption. Reabsorption of calcium by renal tubule, absolutely correct. Okay, decreases the absorption of calcium from digested food. Does it decrease? Does it decrease? No, it is going to increase. Okay, then you have increases the metabolism of carbohydrate. Is parathyroid somewhere involved in carbohydrate metabolism? No, right? So what is the wrong option? B, D and E. It is your thyroid which is involved in carbohydrate metabolism, right? So the right answer here is option A pasangla. Okay, option A. Clear ah புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. Carbohydrate metabolism la thyroid hormones da involved ஆயிருக்கு. Yes. Clear? Understood? Can we continue now? So this was asked in 2022. So questions are never in a direct way. They are always twisted. Kandipa oru varshamum question kekapatte padum idhula. Shall we proceed? Yes or no? Yes. Erythropoietin. Okay. Erythropoietin hormone which stimulates RBC formation is produced by, this is very easy. Romba easy ana question. Okay, the cells of bone marrow, juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney, alpha cells of the pancreas, the cells of the rostral adenohypophysis. Idukana answer I want everyone to tell. Yes, very good, very good, very good. It is the juxtaglomerular cells of your kidney or nephron. Nephron and kudutunda inno correct ah irundirukum. Yes, very good Janice, very good Sandhya, very good Shalini, very good Crazy Dude. Yes. The next question, there's something related to disorder. 2020 COVID batch la ketirukanga. Pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas. Solunga pasangla. What is this? Rendu disorders patti na pesala. I will talk to you about it. Yeah. Pituitary, diabetic insipidus. So A is 3. Okay. Thyroid is Graves disease. What is Graves disease? Na sonnala hyperthyroidism, exophthalmic goitering vanga. That is what we call it as Graves disease. Okay. So B is 1. Then adrenal gland, C. So adrenal gland is resulting in Addison's disease. I will tell you what is that. Okay. Then D is 2. So what is the right answer, pasangla? A is 3, B is 1, C is 4, D is 2. It is option A. What is Addison's disease? It is caused due to adrenal glands or hyposecretion. You will have Addison's disease. Okay. Yes. So it is out of NCERT. Rendu part on the out of NCERT. Okay. 2020. Yes. Shall we continue? So the right answer for this is option A. Shall we continue, pasangla? Yes. Select the correct statement. Insulin acts on pancreatic cell and adipocyte. Insulin is associated with hyperglycemia. Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis. Glucagon is associated with hypoglycemia. Very confusing question. What is the right answer here? What is the right answer here? Insulin acts on pancreatic cell and adipocyte. Insulin is associated with hyperglycemia. Idu tappu. Idu tappu. Insulin is associated with hypoglycemia, right? It brings down my sugar levels. Okay. Glucagon is associated with hyperglycemia. So what is the right answer? It is this. Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis. Absolutely correct, Shalini Surya. Romba correct answer. The answer is option C. Okay. So glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis. Very good. Cortisol. Gluconeogenesis na it's the synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrates. Okay. Next. How does the steroid hormone influence the cellular activity? Steroid hormone eppadi vandu enoda cell la vandu affect panno? Using aquaporin channel as a second messenger? No. Changing the permeability of the cell membrane? No. Binding to DNA and forming a gene hormone complex? This is absolutely correct. This is for steroid hormone. Okay. Activating cyclic AMP? This is for protein hormones. இது வந்து எதுக்கு பசங்களா protein hormones. புரிஞ்சதா? So the right answer is option C. They bind to the DNA itself. They have the capacity to bind to the DNA like your estrogen. Okay. Can we continue now? I think few more questions we have. This is very easy. Again related to disorders. Select the correct option. So insulin, diabetic mellitus. Okay. Thyroxine. It is your goiter, corticoids, Addison's disease, growth hormone, acromegaly. What is the right answer here? You match panna kudadhu nenappa apra naane pandren. Okay. Yes. Tell me the right answer here. So A is 5, right? Then you have B is 4, C is 1 and D is 3. What is acromegaly, pasangla? Acromegaly is hypersecretion of growth hormone in adults. Okay. Chinna pasangla nadanda adu vandu gigantism nu solrom. So acromegaly is hypersecretion of growth hormone. Okay. Yes, the right answer is option D, pasangla. Absolutely correct. Okay. So you can definitely expect disorder type question. Okay. 2019, directly from your textbook they have asked. Okay. So what is A, what is B, what is C they have asked. Let me see how many of you will tell the right answer. A endradhu enna pasangla? First of all, it is a cell surface receptor. So cell surface receptor க்கு எப்படிப்பட்ட ஹார்மோன் இருக்கும்? What kind of hormone does a cell surface receptor have? It has a protein hormone, right? So kandipa this is not the answer, this is not the answer. First of all, learn the art of deleting the wrong options. You will be very, very close to your right answer, right? So then what is B? Receptor, right? So idu tappu, because here they have given B as cyclic AMP. So I come to the right answer. C is cyclic AMP, which is my second messenger. Yes, absolutely correct. The right answer is option B. Very nice, Shalini Surya, very nice, Janice, very good, very good. Next, which of the following is an amino acid derivative hormone? Go back to that classification of hormone. 4 vidhamana hormone irukla, peptide hormone, steroid hormone, iodothioronins and your amino acid derivatives. What is the answer? Absolutely correct, epinephrine. Epinephrine is an amino acid derivative. Superb, superb. Yes, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Karachi kudichtinga ellaru NCERT, correct? Okay, next question. Which of the following can play a significant role in osteoporosis? Pasangla, osteoporosis na enna pasangla? Your bones become very, very porous. Okay, so என்னோட bone வந்து ரொம்ப weak ஆயிரும், என்னோட boneல இருக்க minerals எல்லாம் bloodக்கு வரும். That is what we call it as osteoporosis. Okay, this is a little confusing question. Okay, முதல்ல aldosterone and prolactin கண்டிப்பா கிடையாது. Progesterone and aldosterone kandipa kadayadu. So it is actually a parathormone. Parathormone is very much involved in osteoporosis, correct? Because it is going to increase my calcium levels. You would have learned this in a chapter called locomotion and movement, that decrease in estrogen is going to cause osteoporosis, right? So decrease in estrogen and increase in parathormone, both of them play an important role in osteoporosis. Absolutely correct. It is option C. Idu thappu. Prolactin da in the osteoporosis la involved agadu. Yes. Let's move on to the next question. GnRH, what is GnRH? It is a gonadotropin releasing hormone. It's a hypothalamic hormone needed in reproduction. Acts on. Adu vandu enga act panadun kekranga. Anterior pituitary and stimulates the secretion of LH and FSH. Posterior pituitary and stimulates the secretion of oxytocin and FSH. Posterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and relaxin. Anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and oxytocin. What is the right answer here, pasangla? Rombo easy. Option A. What are the GN? Gonadotropin, LH and FSH. Yosikave thevilla. Okay. Yes. So remember, it's anterior pituitary. Okay. Next. A temporary endocrine gland in the human body. Nama human body la ஒரு temporary ஆன endocrine gland இருக்கு. எது பசங்களா அது? Corpus cardiacum, corpus luteum, corpus alatum, pineal gland. It's very easy question. Romba easy question. Temporary endocrine gland. Corpus luteum, right? What is corpus luteum? The empty Graafian follicle is called corpus luteum. And what does this corpus luteum produce, pasangla? It produces a hormone called progesterone. Rombo mukyamana vishyam. Yes. Okay, and corpus luteum produces progesterone, and this progesterone is very much important for maintaining the pregnancy. Clear? I think that's all we have covered up to 2017. Okay. Graves' disease. இப்பதான் சொன்னேன். Graves' disease is caused due to hyposecretion of thyroid gland, hypersecretion of thyroid gland, hyposecretion of adrenal, hypersecretion of adrenal gland. So these two are absolutely wrong. The adrenal glands ku sambandhapattade kedaiyadhu. Graves' disease is due to hypersecretion of thyroid gland. It's option B. Okay, purinjada pasangla? Yes. So that completes this entire chapter. So we have completed chemical coordination and integration. Now the session is open for questions. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask, and you can also let me know what chapter you want me to do next. How was the session? Was this useful for you guys? Did you guys learn something? Were you guys able to answer the PYQs? Yes. Okay, anything else, pasangla? Yeah. Okay, great. So please do like, share, but need, yes, ஏன்னா இந்த மாதிரி இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்லாம் ரொம்ப எவாப்ரேட் ஆயிரும். ஓகே, நீங்கள் எப்படி ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணோன்னா உங்கள் என்சிஆர்டியில் எழுதி வச்சிருப்பீங்களா, நான் சொன்ன பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எழுதிருந்தீங்கன்னா யூ கீப் ரிவைசிங் தட் மோர் அண்ட் மோர் அண்ட் ப்ராக்டிஸ் மோர் questions. That is a whole point here. Many statement based question, yes, every statement seems to be very confusing. Yes, absolutely correct. You need a lot of practice. This is just some 10% of questions we would have practiced. நீங்கள் நிறைய question practice பண்ணாதான் இதில் வந்து நீங்கள் மாஸ்டர் ஆக முடியும். Yes. Thank you, Pasangla. Yes, do like, share. We will quickly have a quiz based on this in this coming week. Chemical coordination and integration, அப்புறம் neural control and coordination. அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி இந்த வாரத்தில் ஒரு week quiz நடத்தலாம். Very important statement based questions கொடுக்குறேன் for your week quiz so that you guys get a practice over it. Yes, assertion reason question. Kandipa we will solve. Okay, do like, share, and please don't forget to leave a comment. Okay, so 3 hours we have just spent for one chapter. Like this we will do each and every chapter in detail. Thank you so much for learning with me. Do stay tuned for more bio learning. Thank you.